So my goal is for this year is to do half as many episodes as we did last year,
Oh
and
my god.
Oh.
Not double, half.
yeah, half as many. We're not trying to do more. God damn. But fuck it. Let's just do it, guys. How have you been? What's been going on in the life of Hegmo, the life of Dex? What's been going on the last couple weeks?
I've had a crazy couple weeks. I commentated a strongman competition on the Santa Monica Pier that was hosted by World's Strongest Man Martins Lisi's. We've been streaming Final Fantasy 11. I haven't been making any YouTube videos, but we've been streaming pretty heavily. I think I hit my goal for potentially applying for partner. It's been a crazy bunch of weeks with a bunch of crazy achievements. I've been feeling pretty good, and I've been doing a bunch of Limbus. I haven't missed. Actually, no, that's a lie. I missed one Limbus floor last week because I had to go out of town, and I thought I turned them all in, but I logged into Temenos earlier this week, and I was like, wait, why do I have all my data except for East 3?
Well,
So so I missed one clear last week, but aside from that, I've done 5 out of 5 both zones for the entire month of June.
You've been
wow,
doing your
that's very
homework.
Yeah.
impressive. I've done 0 clears, for the month of
Oh,
June.
wow.
So
Dang.
yeah.
I hope
You've
this
been
Um,
coming
have
update
you
motivates you, buddy.
you've been playing your other game. Are you still playing that?
yeah. So me and my fiance are playing a classic version of Terra. And it's been fun. Like it's much more casual than 11. So like it's
Yeah.
a different experience, It's fun. The combat in that game is like fun from the very start. It's very like player intensive as opposed to
Yeah.
auto attacks and working through the menu. It's a
Right.
very very different game. You can't compare the two. Like we're almost at max level, and like while we'll probably do some stuff and like play some dungeons and upgrade some gear, likely we will fizzle out of that sooner than later. And
So
I'm
on that
sure.
note, we are now a Terra podcast, and
No. No, that's not so. I played it when it came out back in, like, 2012, 2013. It was a lot of fun. It was very, very different.
Mhm.
I had a ton of fun playing it. I'm having a fun again this time. The server that I'm playing on is a classic server, but they say classic, and it's not like it's still after the era that I played in, so it's still got some, like, mechanics
Mm.
that I don't
Yeah.
remember. But it's been fun, we're having a good time, and,
Nice. Yeah, I was watching you when you streamed it at one point,
yeah.
and the combat it's like very active. Like
Yeah.
there's like a lot of like dodge mechanics and all this other stuff.
Yeah, it gets a lot of criticism because the story is not very great.
Mhm.
It's not put together very great, but if they did anything right, it was the combat, and that's really like the main draw.
is it
Nice.
safe to call you a tourist there? Like, are you just there for nostalgia and then you're gonna leave?
I mean, when I played, back in 2012, like, I had an end game guild and stuff like that, like, I ran one, but it's a lot easier to do end game stuff for a game like that than it is for 11. Like, you need 5 people to do a dungeon, and
Mm.
instead of 5 supports and 1 DD,
Yeah.
it's like you just need a tank and a couple DDs and a healer, and you're good to go. Um but it's a very, very different experience. Like, I was very into it back then. Right now, probably, we'll have a good time. I don't know how far we'll get into it this time, but we'll dabble in endgame a little bit
Nice.
probably, and then call it a day.
It is nice to jump back to an old game and just go through, get a feel for it, see if you wanna continue or try new shit in it, and then, go from there. Sometimes I'll play some game that I haven't played in 10 years, and I'll play it for, like religiously for, like, a month, and then I'm like, "Alright,
Yeah.
I'm done here."
Yeah, it's fun. It's like a mini nostalgia trip. It's kind of like when I came back to 11, and got that nostalgia rush. But not quite to that same level.
Yeah, but it's also like I feel like as I've gotten older, Like I played Bloodborne so much. I probably put like a few hundred hours into Bloodborne when it first came out. I was playing it like in May. In May, I was playing through it again, and I was like, I remember parts of this, but like I don't remember so much. I'm like, is this what getting old's like? It's like I could read this book again and I'd be like surprised by all the plot points because like they've just been purged from my brain.
Yeah.
You watch a movie and it's like, I never
Yeah.
saw this.
And then, yeah, it's like, no, wait, I did see this. Hold on. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You just gotta
Dex,
give it
what have
enough
you been up
time.
to? How have you been? We need the Dex update.
Well, you missed out on the fact that the day after our last actual 3-man recording, my company got bought and it's
Mhm.
been hell ever since.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been working crazy hours, right?
It's kind of settled out. I feel as though I'm able to do all my job now in a way where like it's not impacting my hours, even though it's a lot more stressful because
Mm,
it's new systems and frankly, as far as everyone in the company is concerned, they don't operate as well as the previous systems. So we just like the new company bought us and then we downgraded.
yeah. Nice.
Um,
Sounds about right.
yeah, that's always good. The very first week right after that recording we did was like a 70 plus hour work week.
Mhm.
Was not fun.
Yeah.
And then this past week was 4th of July week and today's 4th of July. So
Which is
happy
like
birthday, America.
the craziest week for you work-wise
For
for
the
the
beer
entire year.
industry, it's
Yeah.
usually the busiest week of the year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
But it's
That's really
over and
nice.
I'm chilling. We got a 3-day weekend. I hope everyone's enjoying some refreshment and having a good time barbecuing or hanging out with friends today or listening to the Blurred podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
What a
Hey,
nerd you are,
so
E.
so what happened with that the strongman competition, Hegmo? Because I was trying to watch that and you just never
Yeah,
streamed it. I
so
feel a little
we
cheated.
Yeah, I really wanted to, and that was the plan, is that I was gonna stream it to my Twitch, but, we got out to the Santa Monica Pier, and, like, I'd been in communication with the team, and I was, like, very clear about, like, we need, like, a good internet connection, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, we've got great internet. We've got 2 gigabit up and down, everything's great," and then we get there, and the IT guy's like, "Oh, yeah, we don't have, like, internet here, though," and I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, like, there's internet at the office, but that's on the opposite side of the pier
Is
from where
that
you
all they
guys are. You
tested? Like they never went on site to
Yeah.
test?
They're like, yeah, he's like the all the ethernet below the pier is like exposed. It's like 20 years old and it's exposed to the elements. So it's like you can't even use it.
That's a
And so I
massive
was like,
oversight.
that's a problem. So yeah, we spent like all the prep time that we had for like tech prep and all the other stuff was just trying to get internet running. Um, and we ended up having to run just the YouTube stream to Martine's channel off of a mobile hotspot. For day one, it was terrible. We were constantly dropping connection, all this other stuff. I almost gave up for day two because we were like, I was like, let's just record it and publish the VOD. There's literally no point to streaming a bad experience, but we ended up tethering multiple hotspots and like the public Wi-Fi together to get a semi-stable connection, but the upload was still limited. So I was like, I'm not even gonna try to stream to Twitch because like we're already out of bandwidth. So I ended up having to cut my Twitch stream, but it was a fun experience either way.
Everyone was just burning
Wow.
through their data and
Yeah,
bricking
yeah.
it.
On day two, I had to live swap hotspots 3 times because we were running through everybody's data plans. Like the guy that we were on, he's like, "Hey, I just got a notification my data plan's up," and I was like, "Okay." So I just switched over to somebody else's hotspot, and then once that ran out, we switched over to mine.
Wow.
That's
But
raw.
you
Yeah, it
did you
was.
compete at all during this competition?
No, I didn't. I did not compete. I'm
Any
nowhere.
Well,
lifts?
Hegmo had a
Yeah.
fight with the sun because he got that Cali tan now.
Oh yeah, I do have a pretty major farmer stand right now. Um, we
Just on
we
one
were
arm?
out. No, on both arms, really. I got both arms are pretty tanned up.
Yeah, that'd be a trucker
Uh,
tan, I'm sorry.
yeah. But it's crazy. I don't know. Like I go outside. I go on like multiple walks a day. You know, like I go outside in
When?
Texas,
You're
but
streaming all
usually
day.
usually I guess it's like in the morning and the evening, so I'm not in
Ah,
like the direct prime sun. But I feel like after like 45 minutes outside in California, I was like starting to burn. And I was like, do they have a different sun here? What the hell is going on?
I've not been to Cali, but when I went to Texas, I was like, "Damn, this sun is different out here." So, I
Was
figured
it
it'd be
drier in
worse for you.
California? Was it more humid because it's right next to the ocean? I feel like
I
it'd be
imagine it would be more humid because yeah, we were literally on the beach, but who
That's
knows?
probably it. Just sucked the moisture out of you
Yeah.
and went straight to your skin.
yeah, hell yeah.
But in game, outside of, getting my ass kicked at home and at work, in game, just been chugging along, doing grinding. I don't know if people heard, but I got master rank 9, and since then,
Yeah.
I'm still trying to check things off the list foolishly because I'm already at the point where I've done 95% of it. Might as well keep going.
Hell
Just
yeah.
Yeah,
been
you might as well get
daily
a more
grinding.
10. Now's the time
I
to,
don't think that exists,
finish the
but
race. Hasn't I feel like somebody's gotten it, haven't they?
no one has gotten 10.
Oh,
Nobody's
really?
gotten 10 yet.
If
Oh,
there
I
is
feel
a
like it's kind of
10 out
like
there, someone's hiding it.
they haven't said anything. I feel like either you would have had to do literally everything in the game, or it's still scaled so you can't get 10, is my suspicion.
I'm
Because
leaning
like
towards that.
yeah, like every time they add trust points, like we know trust alter ego points add to your people have ranked up by adding alter ego points. There's new HTMBs, new titles coming and stuff. So I imagine
Yep.
that like it's just not 100% implemented yet.
There's the trust armor system coming with the new NMs. I'm looking forward to that
Yeah.
too. Um,
yeah.
yeah. I think there's a lot coming that could influence the bar. I wish we had more transparency to know what counted and what didn't and yada yada, but I think it's
Right.
just not there yet. And it's kind of like a carrot dangling,
Yeah.
and whether or not it's reachable on that treadmill is inconsequential. And other than that, I've been working on the master trial that I haven't finished. The
Yeah, I
Forsworn
saw
Blade.
well actually Shiraj was telling us earlier that he had to scold you guys for to not remaining professional. Is that what is that what happened?
For the first time, we saw Theodore last night, um, which was pretty awesome. But also, a lot of people were not ready for that, and a lot of people were freaking out and causing other people to freak out. And then we didn't win. But I think the next session we might win. It's tough to
Nice.
say. There's a lot of RNG involved in that fight, and
That's crazy that you're that close. I mean,
very difficult fight.
Shiraj said he felt like you guys could have you were on pace to do it with
No,
this
I
past.
think that was a win, if not for a few hiccups.
Oh wow. Crazy.
We basically
Yeah.
got past the, Theodore aura. I don't know if you know about the fight or not, but,
It's
basically,
just
we
the
got
I
past
don't
the
know
Doom,
hard
something
right?
like
part.
that, yeah.
The
Yes.
area
We
effect,
got
like,
we
it's
got
a
past the
25
hard
count?
part, and then we fell apart, and we had bolstered and double overkill left, so it was, I think, doable.
Crazy.
7 minutes or so left on the clock.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Next
awesome.
time, and then I'll have won all of them. I'm
All
hoping.
that'll be all of your master trials done.
I wanna be
Wow.
just like Shiraj one day when I grow up.
One day.
Wow.
One day. Before we get too far into the topics and the emails and stuff like that, I just want to say, while we're like not quite to the main stuff yet, I just got a new job. I'll be starting
Nice.
next Monday, not this Monday, but then following Monday. The day after that, after I start the new job, we are also getting the keys to a new house and moving.
Wow.
Um
Big life
so
changes.
Big moves,
so
Smithy.
So I might have less time for stuff. Probably definitely gonna have less time for making like YouTube content and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But if you guys just don't see me around as much, it's just because I don't want to hang out with you anymore. That's the only
Yeah,
reason.
I
that's
mean,
understandable.
that's
It's
Yeah.
just
that's
because I've
understandable.
basically
That's
been positioning my life for the past 3
Right.
months to avoid you guys as much as
Yeah.
possible, which so I
Yeah.
got a new job and yeah.
Right. Right. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware that if
Yeah.
if you see that I'm not around anymore, it's just because I don't like you.
Please
No, I'm just
please
kidding.
do not reach out.
it's at this point that I'm gonna come out and say, I've never liked you guys, and I am now separating myself, making it official.
Yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely. We
Nice,
finally
cool.
made it. So I'm looking forward to it. It should be good stuff. But I don't know. My schedule is very likely going to change, and I don't know exactly how it's going to change yet. I might have to work overnights while I'm the new person over at this new place for a while.
Oh,
So
welcome to
who
my world.
knows? Yeah, nights and weekends. But see how it
What
goes.
does overnight sound like? Like, you end your shift at night, or you are there from starting at night and leaving in the afternoon, or do you know?
It could be anything from like a normal like swing shift, like 3 to 11, or it could be actual graveyard, like 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. shift. I'm not really sure.
Graveyard
It's
is
a
no bueno.
it's a 24/7 operation. So we're working with like public transit entities, so we have to have people out 24 hours a day. And
I see.
Wow.
since I'm the newest person and it's a union position, it's very likely going to be
Yeah,
seniority
you're gonna
based.
you're gonna get the
Yeah.
shit shift.
Right, exactly. But yeah,
I did
it's
a 10 PM to 8 AM for many years, and, I'm not happy with my current shift, but goddamn am I
yeah.
happy to not be doing that anymore.
Yeah, yeah, I've done overnights for several years, before when I was working in hospitals and stuff, but, now, um, it's been quite a while, and I'm not
Well,
super
it sounds
excited to do
exciting.
overnights, but at least the job is good, so
The hours may
the,
not be the best, but you got a big move and you got a new
yeah.
job that's, I'm sure, lucrative for you in some way. I'm very happy for you.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's exciting.
it should be a good time. Um, do you guys wanna go ahead and dive into some emails?
Ooh,
Oh, sure. Yeah. I was thinking
our
that we should,
viewers
like,
are
just keep
starved.
I was thinking we should keep, like, doing personal updates and then just post that as the podcast and have people be like,
Yeah, I'm down.
2-hour long podcast, you guys talking about Final
Bold.
Fantasy 11 for 12 seconds."
Bold of you to assume my life is that interesting.
Yeah, let's,
Yeah.
we have a stockpile? Do we have, like, a ton of emails from the month of
Yeah,
July?
Full.
we have a stockpile. We've gotten 3 emails in the last month.
Nice.
So
Huge. Massive number.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it reflects, our posting, right? Like, we don't
Yeah.
post, and people are like, "That podcast exists?"
Yeah. I had somebody came in and was like, we were talking about how we had missed a few weeks and like somebody asked if we were doing the podcast this weekend. And I was like, yeah, I think we missed a week, or a few weeks, but I think we'll be back. And they're like, yeah, I just started watching the podcast for the first time. The last episode you published, it was the first time I found it. And then it's been a month. And I was like, oh, sorry, but at least you can go back and watch the old episodes.
Yeah,
You
that's the
got plenty
beauty
of
of it, right?
backlog to catch up on. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But then he'll be like,
there's
"You're not
hundreds of
relevant
hours.
anymore."
Yeah, there's hundreds of hours of us, saying wrong stuff that's out on the internet, so, like,
Uh, I
feel
haven't
free
done the
to,
math, but is that true?
Oh,
um
hundreds of hours? I would imagine maybe close to
I
it.
think our average episode is, like, 3 hours long, and we have
Yeah,
so, I mean, it's close to 100 hours, maybe more, I don't know.
nice.
It feels like I've spent hundreds of hours with you guys, even if it's been
Yeah.
much
Well,
less.
yeah,
Um
Oh, collectively,
all for
like, you know how
recording.
you say,
Yeah.
like, a company will say, like, we have hundreds of years of experience because, like, they add up the
Oh, yeah, they
tenure of,
add up
like, the
everybody's yeah.
multiple employees, yeah.
Mhm.
So, like,
Everyone
yes,
together
between
has 5
us
years experience, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Between us, it's been several hundred hours for sure.
yeah. Hundreds of hours of experience of saying just totally made up stuff, yes.
well, no, all scientifically researched, proven,
Yeah,
factual. Let's
excellent.
get right
Absolutely.
into it.
Do you
Let's
wanna read
get
the
right into the news.
do you wanna read the first email, Dex, from who of us?
Sure. Let's find it. How far back? Oh, all the way back here? What's the date on it? I'm looking.
June 4th.
Oh, right here. From Quavos. Hi. You're likely spamming the weapon skill that lines up with your ultimate weapon, or nagling. But what do you use while you're building up towards it? List the weapon skill you'd use on every job, assuming you don't have Rima, Prime, or Ambu weapons. Assume you're stuck with
Mm.
Alluvian skirmish weapons with perfect augments.
Oh, dang.
And you've done your weapon skill quests. Refer to the wiki as necessary. Quavos.
Oh, this is like a weird like thought challenge question. I can
This is
only
like
speak from my
interactive, do your job.
recent experience. I leveled up Corsair to 99 recently. And as soon as I unlocked Savage Blade, even without negling, I just started spamming Savage Blade because it's busted and strong even without negling. So it's kind of the same stuff.
I'm kind of so is this like a you're not allowed to use you've done all your weapon skill quests, but you're not allowed to use ones linked to the
I think
Rima?
like the question is like if you don't have a Rima yet, but
Mhm.
maybe you have access to all the weapon skills, which weapon skills are ideal to use?
So this is kinda like
Um,
a, anti-prime question.
Perhaps, yeah. But I mean, like, I feel like for the most part, like a lot of the strong weapon skills are still the strong weapon skills. Although maybe
Yes.
like with hand to hand, for example, like you might be doing Howling Fist
Raging
and Raging
fists?
Fist.
Mhm.
You're still probably going to be doing Tornado Kick and Dragon Kick.
When you have footwork up.
Yeah, but um, yeah, you're probably
Probably
still
just
Savage Blading. You're probably still doing Rudras. You're probably still, you know what I mean? Like the stuff that
hand to
people
hand
use that's strong is still strong.
monk in general or hand to hand is kind of unique in that there is a plethora of weapon skills they use,
Yeah.
and there's situations where even ones that, you know, might be linked to a Rima, say Shijin Spiral for God Hands,
Mhm.
you would still use it to apply
Well, yeah,
plague, you just wouldn't
because
use
like
it.
the percent damage increase that you get on Shijin Spiral is nice, but you never really do Shijin for damage. You know what I
You
mean?
do it for the
It's
effect.
you do it for the aftermath for
Yep.
radiance, and you do it for the plague.
Yep, yep. I guess the one exception would be, like, Victory Smite? You don't really use that often, right? But if you
Yeah.
have Therathragna, you would use it.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like in this day and age too, like Victory Smite is also literally just for making light chains or for doing
Mhm.
Varathragma Aftermath because like
The last time
com-
I remember
compared
using it
to
was doing, like, a 5-step on the frog
yeah,
ambuscade.
exactly, yeah. It's great for, like, six-step radiance, but that's not even using Veratragna. But, I mean, nowadays, like, raging and howling just hits so hard. I don't know. I don't use victory very often, personally.
So, the question is, assume you're stuck with, like, Eluvian skirmish weapons,
Yeah.
and he says with perfect augments. I didn't even know you could augment them. Um, so I'm assuming this is, like, you have the new Limbus weapons, or you have, Odyssey weapons.
Mhm.
You're building your first
Exactly.
Rima. It's not necessarily Alluvian skirmish weapons, just like the spirit of the question is you don't have a
Yeah.
Rima yet.
I think yeah, and it
Yeah.
was like, imagine, like, back in the day, like, when we used to do rampage spam or whatever else because, like, that was the hardest hitting weapon skill before Remos were factored in. Um I don't know. I still think my answer is like kind of mostly the same weapon skills I use even with the primes, but you know, or like with the Rimas.
I mean,
Yeah, I suppose
let's
that's
just
true.
fire off the list real quick. For warrior, it would be Savage Blade or Calamity.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Calamity's
Calamity is quite strong.
underrated. What's the other one? Mistral
Mistral
Axe?
Axe is super
Yeah,
strong. Yeah. And you know, did you know Mistral Axe is a ranged weapon skill?
15 yalms, baby.
I didn't
Pretty
know that,
cool.
Higma. Thank you so much for that information.
Yeah.
That's it's really, really good stuff.
Wait, I thought you were like a warrior main myth. You didn't know that? What an
No, I didn't.
idiot.
I actually, believe it or not, I didn't know that. And if
Yeah.
it wasn't for Hegmo, then I would have never
Yeah.
known that piece of information. Thank you.
And I did tend to keep that information like
Locked up.
close to my
Yeah,
chest. I
yeah,
don't like try to advertise it. I don't
yeah.
say
It's
it every
not.
time anybody mentions axe. Like
It's not something
uh
that you bring up every opportunity that you can.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So it's time to pop your aggressive aim and get throwing.
Mhm.
Jesus Christ. Um, all right, so after we already talked about monk, so white mage, black mage, red mage.
I think they
What's
should
white
just use
mage?
Black Halo, but like Hexus Strike or Realm Razor come in for doing skill chains, but mostly Black Halo, right? Or Judgment.
Judgment's really strong. I mean, Black Halo. Well, so if you're a Black Mage, like I feel like Black Mage, Red Mage, because doesn't Black Halo have like int or mind modifiers or something like that, which
Yes.
is why it ends up going
Strength
ahead
and mind.
versus Judgment on Warrior or
Also
like
strength and
Judgment on
mind.
any of the yeah.
Yeah, I would lean towards judgment without Maxentius, right?
Mm.
Well, are they saying you can't use Mexen? Oh, it says or amber weapons. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, Black Halo is still strong. Like I used Black Halo on Ngai to break up the weapon skill wall on Warrior a couple times, but I still like
Mm.
Judgment a lot.
quite frankly,
Um,
like Mage Smasher and other like decent clubs are still going to do great Black Halos even without Maxentius or Kaja Club.
yeah, yeah,
And then would they use staves? Heavy swing is decent. Cataclysm's very strong with the grip. I think you'd
yeah,
want to have the Ember weapon ideally for that though. So maybe you would just stick to heavy swing if you're doing physical damage.
yeah,
Staves are usually like using Merker and letting you augment your nukes though.
yeah, yeah. I probably wouldn't try to do too much physical damage with staves.
Yeah.
They're pretty weak. But Cataclysm and
Um,
Earth Pressure can do some really cool stuff if you buff them correctly.
Red Mage wouldn't really use so in a typical sense, Red Mage wouldn't use physical weapon skills as much, or would they? In this kind of like job progression era, would they use
I
more magical
mean,
weapon skills? Like I know Red Mage's soloing stuff span Sanguine Blade a lot.
Hmm.
yeah, Seraph Blade, Sanguine Blade, Red Lotus potentially.
Mhm.
I would probably still use Savage Blade a lot on Red Mage, even without a Niggling.
That's
Um,
fair.
it's
Yeah.
still
Savage just
solid.
hits so strong.
Yeah.
I think
Uh,
Seraph is really powerful, but you're thinking of it from like having a SU5 weapon.
yeah, I mean, I think any sort of magic damage weapon skill is gonna need a lot of buffs to do really
True.
well.
Yeah, offhanding Daybreak
Um,
is huge for that too.
right. So I mean, it all depends. They all have potential. I think
Mhm.
like if you're solo, then Savage Blade probably has the highest potential. Um,
I think as a red mage soloing, just having the ability to switch to Sanguine Blade for utility is very nice.
yeah, absolutely. And then if you wanted to self skill chain, I'm sure there's some dagger options. So I don't know what the
Mm.
I'll be honest, I don't know what the dagger weapon skill options look like on Red Mage without any Rimas or like a
Yeah, in
Twilight.
my experience, they kind of need a Rima for it to be viable.
Yeah.
They also can use Uller and shoot, but that's another rabbit hole entirely.
Hell yeah, dude. That's what I wanted to hear.
Thief
Thief,
would probably use
Rudris
um
with
Rouges,
Rudras,
probably, yeah.
yeah.
yeah. I mean the SE5 with Rudris is pretty popular.
I think
Um
it's kind of complicated, right? Because when Thief is at a lower progression level, they're not going to have a lot of weapon skill damage options, and Evisceration itself is great in that stage.
Yeah.
yeah.
Just a ton of hits.
Um
Shark Bite isn't horrible, but Rudras is probably a better Shark Bite in most cases.
Mhm.
Shark Bite doesn't
yeah.
skill chain with Savage Blade though, so depending on what you're doing, that might be viable to know. And then Aeolian Edge for killing stuff magic damage wise, or
Yeah.
AoE.
Yeah, absolutely. After Thief, we've got Paladin again, Savage Blade, or Atonement.
Atonement.
Here's
Really,
why I was like, kind of like this that my answer still stands. We're just saying all the weapon skills that he
no,
still use on these
you're
jobs. Yeah.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Like I Savage Blade with my Brick Gang all the time,
Yeah.
and I can normally one shot like the first and second floor mobs in
Yeah.
Odyssey segments. I mean, like Savage Blade on Paladin can do some pretty
I think
serious
it kind
damage even
of
without Niggling.
it gets more complicated for the DDs, right? Like
Yeah, absolutely.
Samurai without Arima, what's their
Yeah.
kind of go-to?
Dark Knight's our next one, so that's a good
Yeah,
Mhm.
example.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
I mean, if you were like Montante +1, you'd probably still be spamming Torque Cleaver, right? Cross
Yeah,
Reaper
yeah,
is probably your go-to.
Cross Reaper is incredible. It's
yeah.
underrated.
I've heard
But I
from
still think you can do, like, entropy or, what's the other one for darkness skill chains with Scythe?
um entropy and does it not go with Grass Reaper? I'm not sure off the top of my head. I know you can do some skill chains with the Ambuscade Scythe, um, without like leaning into those. Personally, I'm a fan of using the Ambuscade Great Axe for newer Dark Knights for the TP bonus on upheaval, but we're not talking about Ambuscade, so I'd probably just stick with Scythe and Torque Lever with the Montante.
Yeah.
I'm down with that. Honestly, Great Sword is usually the way to go for Dark Knight until you have Arima,
Great
and
Axe is a
then
weird one though. Like thinking through Great Axe, like I don't even know. What would you use on Great Axe before you have a like most people don't even like to use Great Axe when they have Chango.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't use Great Axe unless you're skill chaining with it.
Yeah.
So like it completely depends on the scenario. But if you are using a Great Axe, you're probably using upheaval 9 out of 10 times, maybe a Steel
Yeah.
Cyclone. But Steel Cyclone's not that great.
yeah, it seems like Upheaval would always beat Steel Cyclone. Maybe you would swap to Steel Cyclone if your progression leads you to get Lycargos, and then when you get something better than that, like a full-fledged Rima, you'd swap it back to Upheaval spam.
Even with like
Mm.
Urgos, I'd still use upheaval because the TP bonus is gonna do more than
Yeah, I guess
the
that's
Steel
true.
Cyclone damage. Um, but yeah,
I
I
think
don't.
Lycargos bridges the gap a little, but doesn't overcome it.
Yeah, Great X is like one of those things where if you're not doing multi-step skull chains with it, you're probably not going to be using it. Um,
But for the
but
fun and
yeah,
the defense down.
yeah, absolutely. After Dark Knight, we have Beastmaster, which goes back to the single hand. What do you know about
Mr.
single-handed
Lax.
axes, Hegma? Please enlighten us.
Well, so Calamity's pretty strong. There's also Mistral Axe hits really hard, and I don't know if you guys knew this, but Mistral Axe is actually a ranged weapon skill.
Oh
How
wow, I
far away
didn't know
can you
that.
throw it?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
How far
Yeah,
away can you
yeah.
throw
How
it?
far away?
I think I want to say it's 15 yalms.
That sounds right.
Like pretty good distance.
That's quite a distance. Like, if you think about it from a real life perspective, that's probably halfway across the room.
Yep.
Wow, very impressive. Cool.
Wow.
After Beastmaster, we have Bard. What are you using on Bard decks?
Um,
Sub White Mage.
see, that's a
Chilling.
good one because I think you're not really using
Your
Savage Blade.
instrument. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not really using Savage Blade until you have Nagling. So if that's not on the table, it's probably daggers, right?
Yeah, I
You're
would
probably
assume so.
spamming
Yeah.
Evisceration and Rudras.
Yeah.
But also, Bard is, to your point, like you were getting at, Bard doesn't really DD until you get a lot of gear.
Yeah. I mean, I remember this was back probably like 7 years
5 or
ago.
6 years ago, 7 years ago.
But like I remember I had a friend who was obsessed with getting good bard damage, and like he finally built up like the full Volt set from Bastock and was like, "Holy
Mhm.
crap, I can DD on my bard." And everybody's like, "No way, that's stupid."
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I would say 7 or 8 years ago, Bard never subbed Ninja Dancer and always subbed White Mage or Scholar to heal, and was a full support job. And it really took getting, like, cutting edge niche options to make a viable gear set that was worthy of damage dealing. And nowadays, it's kinda, like,
Mhm.
standardized, and that's the go-to. Every Bard is expected to DD in some capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah. It actually is. It's changed so significantly. I still really think that Geomancer is going the way of Bard, personally. But
Mhm. Yeah,
um
I love to see increasingly Geo's getting up there with the club and beating stuff up.
yeah.
Well, very often, like, Geo's already gonna be front line, so instead of standing there, just
Yeah,
whip it
you have
out.
to be
Yeah,
there
yeah.
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. And like we said earlier, like Judgment and Black Halo are so strong that even Geomancer with the current gear can do some serious damage. So I think our next job is the perfect example of jobs that you don't play until you get Urimas and your ambuscade weapons, and that's Ranger. So what are you using
Yeah,
before
that's
that?
rough.
I like what maybe Last Stand, maybe
I don't know.
Sidewinder. I don't know.
It's
Like that
it's
was the
it's
old
not
school
good.
stuff to use. Yeah.
Hot Shot and Flaming Arrow are fine,
Mhm.
but again, they're gonna require
It'll
a lot of
require a
extra
lot of
gear to see
buffs.
good
Yeah.
numbers.
Yeah, it's not good for sure.
It's kinda like, Detonator, Slug Shot,
Mm-hmm.
and then you need your Rima for the most part.
You could probably
Last
Savage
Stand is
Blade.
fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
Savage Blade. You know, I don't have a Rima, but I have a K
Oh
Club.
yeah.
Alien
Oh, there
Edge,
you go.
maybe?
I guess like the
There.
outside of Niggling, they don't really have a sword to equip. So
No, that's like a niche thing for them.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I'd
one of
probably
those,
use Alien more than anything on Ranger.
they put
Mm-hmm.
the square peg in the round hole for that one.
Yeah.
Uh, what's next?
Samurai.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Samurai. Maybe Jinpu still. Like Jinpu's really strong with a ambuscade katana, but um,
Yeah, it's like it's I think Samurai is in the same spot that Red Mage would be in. You'd either use your hybrids if you're buffed for it,
yeah,
or just use Fudo. Like there's I mean, at least Samurai has options to skill chain beyond just like
yeah,
the Rima stuff,
true.
you know. So it can put out some serious damage. But if we're talking about just like single weapon skill spamming, it's either going to be hybrids or more than likely Fudo, which
If you're
is not going to
intentionally
feel
not
good.
if you're intentionally not skill chaining with, like, Nagling users, you would do Shoha, I think?
Yeah, yeah. If you're trying to avoid the skill chains,
Mhm.
Shoha will not skill chain with
But
Savage Blade,
Samurai's bread and butter is the skill chain for the most part,
Yeah.
so that's usually not the
right?
case.
Yeah. Somebody asked. This is kind of an unrelated question, not necessarily in the realm of Wolvos's original question, but yes, Shining One Samurai. There was a period before the Prime polearm came out. The joke was always that Dragoon was the second best polearm user, or maybe third best, because Shining One Samurai or Shining One Warrior were so strong that
Yeah,
Dragoon was the third best polearm user.
Yeah,
yeah. Shining
and
One
that's
Sam
still
is still
true.
really really strong. If
I
you can
would
get
say if
away
you're a
with it.
samurai, you need to have that weapon.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I would use that over Masamune a lot of the time if you're not skill chaining and stuff. To be honest.
I mean, even I remember back in like the Calibri farming days of Otter Gone, like you'd still see samurais with a pole arm doing pentathrusts and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's for sure back in the day,
Yeah.
yeah. I'd say that the only reason that you don't see it as often anymore is because a lot of people are now finally having a prime weapon, and
Yeah.
it kind of just eclipses it just enough to make it not worth pulling out a lot of the
Hmm.
time. But, you know,
Yeah.
if you're working on your progression, then that's definitely something that's extremely viable. That weapon is strong as shit. Not just for samurai.
More importantly, what are you guys using on Ninja?
Ooh.
I don't play Ninja enough to know. No, really.
It's
Uh,
I know Ninja.
yeah.
It's the same thing as Samurai. It's either
Yeah. Your
you're gonna be
hybrids as
skill
well.
chaining with Blade Shun, or you're gonna be using your hybrids, or if you're doing
Yeah.
single hit, like if you're just spamming weapon skills, Blade 10 is probably gonna be your best
It's usually
CP
just
skill.
shun though, right?
I think
I
I was
mean,
leveling.
Shun can do okay skill chaining. Blade 10 scales
Yeah.
similarly to Calamity or Mistralax, so that's going to be like your
Mm.
single physical hardest hitting weapon skill for Ninja.
Yeah.
But
And
Blade
Blade
Shun
High
has
sucks, right?
better. Yeah, Blade High. Well, it's a crit weapon skill, so it's just gone the way with
Oh.
all of the other ones.
I was
It's also an agility mod. That doesn't help it.
Yeah.
I randomly went out. I was like filling time a couple weeks ago. And I randomly went out with my adventuring fellow. What was I trying? I can't remember what I was trying to do. For some reason, I was
Having an
in
adventure.
Mizuro Coast with my adventuring fellow, killing killing random mobs. And I like randomly used like a blade techie with no buffs. Granted, I was level 99, had like Naomi and whatever, and I'm fighting a level 70 mob. But it would hit for like 70K with like no buffs up.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
guess that's just Naomi carrying the hybrid damage.
yeah. If you can get any sort of defense down paired with Naame for the hybrids, it's busted.
Yeah.
Up next, we have Dragoon.
Probably impulse drive, right? Still.
Yeah.
Mm, I am not sure. Impulse drive without the crit factor.
Stardiver could be good.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be like skill chaining for dragoons. That's gonna be the main
Mm.
thing. Um, and like I don't know, it's in a weird spot because it's almost like Bard, like how dragoons are encouraged to use enabling up until they have their prime, like which is extremely awkward.
Yeah.
Um, so I feel like if I were to pick one without the ambuscade weapon, I would lean towards Camlands personally.
I was gonna say
I
that
actually
Camlins
think I
might
might
be
have
really
to
good in
unlock
a
Camlins.
lower level scenario.
I need to check to see if I've unlocked Camlin's Torment
Yeah.
because I've been told that I need it for Boomba.
Yeah, yeah, Camlands is the default weapon skill that you use. It's like Tachi Shoha for Sam. Like if you don't want to
Mm.
skill chain with
Okay.
Savage Blade users,
It
Camlands is
ignores
typically the
defense,
one.
right? So
Yeah,
it's kind of like it falls off later on in Dragoon's journey, but it's
right.
really strong at the start.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's where I would go. Um Summoner is not gonna be doing anything. Right? Unless you're sub ninja summoner with alien edge, maybe.
I mean, Summoner shouldn't be weapon skilling even now. Like you're using
Right.
your avatars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
The
if
only
you're
time you're
like the
ever
main
weapon skilling
reasons, yeah, is to put up
is to
aftermath for
yeah, you put up your
yeah.
aftermath and your Nirvana, and that's it.
Yeah.
The next
What
one is
job
a
is
good
that?
question for you, Dex. And what do you use on Blue Mage for
Uh,
any of that stuff?
you would still use Expiation, but probably CDC spam.
Oh, really?
I know when you don't have a Rima weapon, CDC light is like really good.
Hmm.
You definitely switch to Savage Blade once you get enabling, but Expiation is kind of interchangeable with Savage Blade. For Blue Mage, it's typically you're making a self skill chain with Chain Affinity, and that's
That's
going to be
true.
really good damage until you get a Rima weapon that makes it so that your DPS doesn't require you to use Chain Affinity, and
Which is
then
unfortunate because, like, I feel like when you get to a certain gear level on Blue Mage, you kind of
physical spells just fall off.
stop playing Blue Mage. You know what I mean? Like,
Uh,
in the way
that's
that
kind
you
of
were
true.
leveling up. Because, like, I remember like Bludgeon and like all like early on in the Blue Mage journey, you're using Chain Affinity, you're doing all this stuff, and then you get to a point where you shift Blue Mage to being a self buff class with
Yes.
Remo weapon skill spam. Yeah.
There's some exceptions to that, but yes, I mean, most physical spells entirely fall off. They're either only used for their additional effects, like Sudden Lunge, or they're not used at all. But, like, 75 era blue and even early progression blue are
Mm.
spamming physical spells for damage
Yeah.
because 'cause they're just, like, free TP moves, right? But then, you get better gear, and you get Rima weapons, and your weapon skills just massively overshadow any damage you can do with physical spells, and it's just like, why bother? These are MP sponges.
Nice. After Blue Mage, there's Corsair.
Corsair is kind of in a Bard situation without Rimas, right?
Savage
Like,
Blade. I was doing Savage Blade as long as I could.
they would Savage Blade for sure. Like, even
Yeah.
without enabling.
Does Core get Savage Blade natively?
Yes, yes.
I think so. Yeah, I was
No.
using it when I was leveling up. I was like level 70 or something.
Corsair has always been a sword job.
Yeah.
Okay. I just know
Um,
the jobs on Savage Blade can be kind of weird. So
people will, like, point to Corsair as, like, the lead and salute job, but I think you need a good amount of box gear for that. It's
Yeah.
not to say that you wouldn't, let in, but I think maybe Wildfire would do better
okay.
until
Yeah.
you geared it more properly
Sure.
or had a death penalty. I mean, death penalty isn't the end all for, lead and salute, though. Even with a TP bonus gun, you could do good
Mm.
lead and
Yeah.
salute damage
True.
or
Um,
a Doomsday.
yeah. I still don't have a
Death
death
penalty?
penalty. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if unless I was a career core, I wouldn't go out of my way to make a death penalty.
Yeah.
To be honest, like unless I really cared about the job. Um, I don't know. It's good, but I don't think it's like revolutionary
Yeah,
personally.
absolutely. Death penalty is extremely powerful. If you play core, you should have it, like, if you're playing core to that level, to that degree, but
Mm.
it's also highly overblown in how potent or how necessary it is. I think for the most part,
Yeah.
the reason why it's so good is the bullet more than the gun itself. But
Oh, true.
that
Yeah.
might be
Mm,
me just, talking out my ass.
yeah. After Corsair, we have Puppet Master. Pegma, what did you use on Puppet Master?
Uh, I mean, maybe like I think stringing pummel's pretty strong,
Does
even
it beat
without
Raging Fist,
Arima.
though?
On pup, maybe. I mean, it's been so long since leveled pup, but also like you kind of end up doing a lot of skill chaining with your automaton, like you're saying with Blue Mage or something like that. So it, like, becomes more about skill chains and puppet interaction than about your weapon skill damage. But I mean, Howling Fist is going to hit really hard on pup too. Maybe stringing pummel, and then I mean, yeah, maybe Raging Fist also.
So, I don't know if you are aware of the history or if you're, like, invested in Pup from way back. I was skimming through some old patch notes in, like, the 2010 era, and one of them caught my eye. It was like, "We've now updated Pup so that its hand-to-hand skill is C+." plus, and I was like, "What?" So it
Yeah,
was lower than that? And then at
yeah,
some point after that, they updated it again because now it's A+. plus.
yeah. Yeah, I think it like oh, I almost just like left
So Pup
without
just started
clicking
out
them
with
off.
really shitty hand-to-hand skill? That's so bizarre
There's
to me.
some weird, and I think this has been largely debunked. I'm not sure if any of this is true. We may have talked about this before, but like I said at the beginning, I have old man memory now, so I'll just repeat myself.
You are
There are some
Did you guys
rumors
know that
early
Mistral Axe
on
is a ranged
that
weapon skill?
yeah,
So,
that Mistral Axe could actually be thrown, and I tested it. But yeah, like Puppet Master early levels, it can equip hand to hand at low levels, but it actually equips a lot of daggers, and it has like cloth armor. At one point, there was a lot of rumor that like Puppet Master was originally meant to be
Necromancer,
a
right?
necromancer,
Yeah.
yeah. And they like late in development decided it didn't match the vibe of the game, and they changed it to Puppet Master. And that's why like some of its skill stuff, like it has dagger skill, it wears cloth armor for the most part, and then it kind of pivots.
I feel like Necromancer could have fit into Ottergon really well.
Yeah, with like the Lamia and all the other stuff, it would have made sense, I think, which is why I can kind of see it.
Kadarva Meyer just, like, screams necromancy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I
that
think I
that
think
would be cooler.
I think our next job, Dancer, is just in the exact same spot as Thief, right? Just Rudress
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Shark Bite and it's basically that kind of stuff. Do you
I
guys
don't think you'd use
remember?
Eric Kleos, would you?
I've never really played with it too much. I can't recall if I can't recall it being strong.
It just feels
But
like it's not worth it. The only time I saw
yeah, yeah.
Heracleos in a modern sense used was, I had a dancer main enthusiast pop Hawksney and use it in sortie,
Oh, nice.
Hmm.
and,
Okay.
it did fine, but it wasn't good
Yeah.
enough. It was like doing 40 Ks on Gartel,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's not
but
terrible, but
that's,
it's
like, a completely separate top
Yeah.
discussion for
yeah.
progression. I
Yeah.
wouldn't use it.
Yeah, I'd probably just use Rudress and Shark Bite. And potentially, sorry, Dancer Sub Monk was pretty popular for a while, and
Oh, was it really?
yeah, yeah, Dancer Sub Monk has some potential with hand to hand, with using Karambit though. So I think that probably still could put out some good damage, but not as much. Like daggers are really strong right now. Um, I think pretty much everybody accepts that daggers are pretty strong, and you're not gonna hold up to a dagger with a hand to hand anymore.
So I knew Dancer and Thief could use Karambit as a blunt option, but why would they sub Monk for the hand-to-hand? For
Yeah,
what do you
just
call it,
for
martial arts?
more weapon skills, access to more weapon
Oh,
skills,
it
and
unlocks weapon skills.
yeah, it's like using warrior sub monk. You get access to the raging fists, I think, and some other stuff. So, and,
Oh, if it
just
gives
more
you Raging
hand-to-hand skill.
Fist, then you need that, yeah, for sure.
I believe it was Raging Fists. I'm sure someone will let me know in the comments after
Mm.
this episode if I was wrong or not.
Karambit is
Next,
the Assurin Fist damage plus, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
correct.
And
Assurin
Assurin
Fist.
Fist is like that was a 75 staple, and now it's no longer good.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, it was really cool back in '75. It was like the first like 8-hit weapon skill, I think,
Yeah. Really cool.
which is
Really cool.
nuts.
Like you just pummel the enemy. It looks really sweet.
Very
But
comparable
I
to Pentathrust in that it was
yeah, true.
cool then
Yeah.
and not cool
Yeah.
anymore.
Literally only use Assurin for my 6-step.
Yeah.
My 6-step because has a Assurin in it, but
Yeah, absolutely.
What's
And then we have Geomancer.
Scholar?
Last two Geoman. Oh, Scholar. Scholar doesn't count. Scholar's barely a job.
Scholars kind of the
probably
same as
still
Summoner or Black Mage.
probably still a Black
Yeah.
Halo. I don't know. Would you use can you use the Ergon weapon skill like a mythic without having Idris or no?
Um,
Uh,
something science?
Yeah.
what? Oh,
The
Omniscience, the mythic weapon skill.
Omniscience?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You should be able to use the mythic weapon skill, but it's not good. Um,
Mm.
yeah,
I
you
just meant
it's
whatever you get with Idris. Can't that hit pretty hard?
we're talking about Scholar.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Geo. Oh, you
Yeah,
said Scholar and
yeah.
Geo, and I just heard the
Yeah,
last thing
no,
you
no,
said.
it's
And yeah,
yeah.
okay.
So like Scholar, it's in the same boat as Black Mage. It can do cool stuff with the magic weapon skills.
Mhm.
Heavy Swing is probably its best. But you know what is cool? I know a guy that's mastered his Scholar in like a couple hours using Aeolian Edge with Scholar Sub Ninja, and they just trained
Hell yeah.
Apex Cogs in
Hell
fucking
yeah.
the Undersea ruins, and they were doing a shit ton of damage with Aeolian Edge on Scholar. Um,
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, I
Very
mastered
cool.
my Black Mage using Sub Ninja and Black Halo exclusively. Mhm.
Yeah, that was
You were
really
playing Blue
painful
Mage.
for me. Yeah, but yeah, it's good. So let's see.
I just feel like
Uh,
Scholar, in a more practical sense, would only be using weapon skills for Merker.
Not even like, but if you were to use a weapon skill, probably. But Merker is not needed
Yeah.
on Scholar for the most part. Um, but yeah, I'd
You're
just be
you're
skill chaining
nuking.
on. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You're
Um,
taking advantage of the fact that Scholar can make its own skill chains with spells. That's probably what you're gonna be doing.
right. Okay, so now Geomancer. So now what was your Idris comment segment?
Oh yeah. Can you
Is Exudation good? That would be
yeah.
good.
Oh, I don't know if you can. You can unlock it because you can unlock Demediation on Rune
Oh,
Fencer
okay.
2.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There is. It's just like another weapon skill trial, like the
Mhm.
original ones, but it's not good. Like especially when you had
Oh, okay.
Judgment and Black Halo. Like I would
Nice.
rather use Judgment with Idris than um what is it? Fucking
Exudation?
Exudation. Is it? I
Exhibition.
have an Idris right here. I could just look at it if I could find it. Um,
Yeah, it's
but
not that powerful to my
yeah.
recollection, but,
Yeah, I think most people just use it to get aftermath if they're meleeing, but even
Mm.
then, like most geos that melee just use like a Tish or potentially Lordmore or Black or
Mage
Magventress
Smasher?
or something like that. But I'd still like even without any of those, I'd still use Judgment or Black Halo.
Cool.
And then the last one is Rune Fencer.
Resolution?
Resolution, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Rezo or Demediation. And
Mhm.
but they're both pretty bad for Onward
Yeah.
Fencer. um, I mean, like I don't know. Like a DD Rune Fencer used to be a thing, and I feel like
Yeah.
these days, anytime you bring a Rune Fencer out, you're just constantly dispelled and stuff. So now it just like is
Mhm.
not a thing. So it's much harder to do in modern content. Unless you're just like messing around and like Omen or something like that, then you can do some fat
Yeah.
damage with resolution and stuff. Um, yeah, cool. That's it. On to the next email. Thanks, Wovos, for that
That's all the
discussion.
jobs and all the weapon skills they do.
Yeah, that's all of them. So,
Or
come back,
If
come
we had
back
if
with
we had spent an
something
extra
else.
like 5 we should have spent an extra 5 minutes on each of those things, and we should have just made that into a tier list. And then we'd have like
No, we still have to do Zephy's top weapons for each job. So we'll have to
Oh yeah.
but that's the one we'll do the tier list for. We'll pull out all the stops for that one. Um so we have an email from TC from Missouri. And TC, I'm not going to read the whole email, it's a little bit long, but he sent us an email about a third party website that hooks into Final Fantasy 11 that I think is really interesting. And it is a tool that is designed to help you create sets out of the gear that you have outside of the game, kind of like how you
Mm,
can make equip sets on Auction House.
Okay.
And it will also help you build like gear swap threads for it. So like if you're trying to put
Hmm.
in a gear set into your gear swap file, it can help you create that. And I think this is a really cool tool. I'll put a link in the YouTube description. Speaking for myself and not for the podcast here,
Yeah.
TC does mention that Gear Swap has some contentious arguments around it. And I'll be honest with you, again, speaking for myself, not for the podcast, if you're not using Gear Swap in 2026, you're either very much a purist or you just don't like playing the game like very well.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
so I mean, it's perfectly fine. Everybody can play however they want to. I really don't care. But I think it's a really cool tool, and I took a quick look at it. I didn't look at it probably as much as I should have because I'm a lazy piece of shit. But I liked it. Did you look
Oh
at it
yeah.
at all, Dex? Do you have
yeah,
any
I was
comments?
giving it a once over. It looks cool. I'd have to
Cool.
mess with it to give better feedback though.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll play with it, and if there's anything that you wanted to let us know more, or that you wanted us to talk about at TC, feel free to let us know. Do you want to read our last email, Dex? From
Just to piggyback off that, I do like the idea. Being
Mhm.
able to like have a dump of all your equipment outside the game that you can kind of work on. Uh, Having a visual representation of things that you would be, editing your sets with is very helpful. A
Yeah.
lot of people aren't like code savvy, and if you wanted to like make a gear swap from scratch, usually it's daunting, and most people who would be more, willing to do that, but are unfamiliar, that's a big hurdle to ask them to, like,
Right.
Yeah.
go dive
I
into code and figure it out.
It took me a really long time to figure out gear swap. It's not something that I was familiar with, and I'm not a computer person at all. In fact, the only reason I'm streaming is because I bothered my girlfriend enough to help me set up the stream stuff. So computer stuff is not my strong suit. So stuff like that,
Yeah.
I think is super valuable. Um,
Thank you, manager.
and also like I was telling Dex before the show, uh, on Auction House, I go on there pretty frequently just to like play with sets and just like
Mm.
put hypothetical gear into boxes and look at it like as one cumulative thing. And being able to have something that does that and not having to publish it for everybody to like
Yeah.
look at on Auction House, I think is a pretty valuable tool.
Yeah. Yeah. Those embarrassing sets that you don't want people to know that
Right.
you're building.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you guys don't need to see my Theorycraft 100% crit build set that is never actually going to happen. Uh, but yeah, I think there's some value to it
Hey, if
for
I
sure.
had to see it, I think everyone should have to see it.
I mean, it's still up there. Everybody can see it. Um, I have a
I have a
couple
question.
sets.
Well, we're talking about gear sets,
Yeah.
and like ideal weapons and ideal weapon skills. Loosely related question because I know both of you are smart individuals, and I know that we have
Debatable.
some Beastmaster affinity. I did get a question from the chat earlier asking about Beastmaster axes. And like this is kind of opposite of the earlier question, but it's like I think he was asking what weapon, like between the mythic and like a high stage prime weapon, and Agwoo's axe and all these items at the end game for pet focused stuff. Is there one axe that's just like the end all be all for Beastmaster in terms of pet modification?
That's tough.
I
Because
mean,
I think like the Prime has pet level, which is exceptionally potent.
yeah.
The new one
Um,
has pet level too.
yeah, the new Limbus axe.
Yep. It's not as high as the prime, but you need the prime stage 5 for the plus 3.
Mm,
Yeah,
Um,
I would ask Shiraj about the specific numbers because to me, the prime, the relic, and the mythic all do really cool stuff as far as
yes.
damage
yeah,
output for full Beastmaster. Um, the difference is that you can offhand the prime and still get the level plus. You can't
yeah,
offhand aimer or what's the mythic? I'm blanking on the Night Beller, and still get those effects.
And
It's
from
kind
what
of
I've
cool.
heard, you can't offhand the new Limbus axe either. You
Yeah.
need to be in
Oh,
here.
really? The
So
the level doesn't apply?
yeah.
Well, can you
So
That's
to
what I heard.
main
me,
the the new Libis axe and offhand the Prime axe and get
For plus
plus
5, yeah.
5?
you
That's
could,
crazy.
yeah, but I don't. I feel like you'd have to do some math and testing to see in what scenarios that's worth it, as opposed
Yeah,
to like if you're using something that benefits from a TP bonus, then Aimer. But if you're
yeah,
using something that benefits from more
right.
attack, then Gutler. And any of those with a prime offhand could be really, really strong.
Nice. Cool.
Unfortunately, I don't think there's a clean answer. I don't think it's, this is the
Yeah.
best, and this is the
Yeah.
main one, and then the other's a utility. I think they're all kinda like, this is good for this, and this is good for that. This is niche, this
Yeah,
is that.
and that's one of the unfortunate thing. Like, I had somebody ask me the other day too about like ninja gear sets and all this other stuff too, and I was like, yeah, it sucks that some of the more complicated jobs in terms of like, like Beastmaster with all these different pet ready moves that scale off different things and all this other stuff, Ninja with all of its complexity with magic damage and hybrid weapon skills and stuff are the jobs that are least played and have the least amount of recent information published.
But that's also they go hand in hand, right? With
Yeah,
complexity drives away a lot of people.
true.
Yeah. I think Beastmaster is one of the more complex jobs. The problem is that it's complex for little reward, unfortunately.
Yep. Yeah.
So I mean, if you want to play the job, you could do a lot of really, really cool stuff with it. It's
Mhm.
just you'll still be on Beastmaster. So just be aware
That's
of that.
why I just treat my Beastmaster and I pretend like I'm a warrior sub ninja in
Yeah.
2010, and
Yeah.
I happen to also have a pet with me that does whatever random effect.
Well, it's
Yeah.
gonna
That's the way to
like
play it.
give you a
Yeah.
buff. Like you got the pig out. You get zealous
Mhm.
snort, baby.
Yeah.
Cool. So we got one
Cool.
more email left from Lil Salty.
All right, you want me to go with that one?
All yours, dude.
This is the Sam Ultimate question.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Lil Salt, aka Lil Salty. Okay. Hey guys, I've just been getting back into the game. I restarted
Anniversary
playing
event.
last year,
Nice.
coincidentally
So he
during
got
Yeah, he got
the
his
Mod Bonanza.
bonanza coupon. Yeah.
Yep, lucky. Everyone who wanted that and missed out this year, very salty.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
after a while,
less
I put the
salty
game
than
down.
little salty. That's why he's only a little salty.
But after a while, I put the game down. However, I've recently picked it back up and decided to stay. Last year, I was gung ho for Thief and even got the air knife. But
Oh,
realize now that the consensus about Thief, now the consensus about Thief. So, LOL, thanks for that. It might become my passion project. At any rate, Samurai and Dragoon have always caught my attention, and so I'm back into it and leveling Sam. I have all my +2 Ambu gear, a shining one. He said shiny one. I like that. Currently building capes, wrapping up missions along with Rhapsody. I'm having a lot of fun. Question regarding the Samurai Ultimate Weapon progression is: do you think there's any value in pursuing a Masamune versus the Doji Aeonic weapon in a world where primes exist? Realistically, I was thinking I would pursue the Aeonic weapon and hopes that it would be less of a time sink and possibly hold me over longer with my Shining one until I can eventually work on a prime weapon as my main goal. Or do you think there's still value in going down the Masamune route until I can obtain my prime? Regards. Um, That's tough. It depends on your means and how quickly you can make these weapons, right? Uh,
Yeah.
I think realistically, a lot of people aren't going to get a stage 4. Uh, shit, I forget what is it Kusanagi?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kusanagi.
I
yeah,
don't think they're going to make a stage 4 Kusanagi in a short period of time, right? And
Yeah.
you have to get there with the job as well. So you're going to need good damage on that job. Shining One is a catch-all. It'll get you a lot of damage. Um,
In a
and
Zerg, you know. Yeah.
in some scenarios, it'll beat Masamune or Doji.
Yeah.
I think Doji is more of a solo self-skill chain weapon, and it pulls ahead of Masamune when you get that opportunity. However, that's not always the case. And then Masamune is usually Samurai's best weapon until Kusanagi. So, with that all said, I think Doji I think the like he was getting at, the order of difficulty is, Shining One's easy to get,
Yeah.
uh, Doji's not that hard to get, and then Masamune's a little bit more effort. But I think Masamune, frankly, is an easy path for an Imperium weapon, and it's worth the effort. But that might be skewed by my perspective on how long it takes me to make things, right?
Yeah.
He's a newer player, and that
Yeah.
currency might take him a lot longer to get.
I think I generally agree with you. I think that Doji is actually pretty strong in the current end game, and I think largely it comes down to like again how you play.
Mhm.
Um, because like if you're look, this is I'm gonna do a little self promo for a second, but if you play on the Shiva server and you are in the Hegbo link shell, which is pretty easy to get into, you just have to jump into our Discord and ask for a pearl. And like people for some reason there are some people in our link shell that will just somebody's like, hey, I need an Aeonic, and people will be like, okay, let's go. Like we've got some of the sack holders are like very generous with doing Aeonics. They get excited to do them. So like a brand new player in our link shell could have an Aeonic tomorrow if they had the beats.
So I would
Um,
say that's not the case on every server,
yeah,
right?
that's not the case everywhere, so it just depends on like what player group you have available to you. Doji could be very easy to get. And I think it's in many cases comparable to Masa in the current era, just with like how much damage it can put out, especially if you're solo skill chaining, like you said.
In that
Um,
scenario, I would say don't bother with Amase
yeah,
and get a
yeah.
doji tomorrow and leech off Hegma's link shell.
Yeah, Masa, on the other hand, Masa is very easy to get, uh,
By yourself.
relatively easy to get because you can do the entire thing solo. You need guild to do heavy metal plates if you're unless you want to farm them really slow, but like for the most part, you can solo all of the NM hunting, all that stuff, as a level relatively fresh 99. In fact, it can be easier to solo that stuff with less gear because like you're able to proc NMs and whatnot. But, it just depends on what you have access to, and I think that honestly, I would say that Masa and Doji are pretty comparable nowadays.
This is a player who is playing Thief predominantly and running around on Thief, so I assume that they're using that to farm their gil, and that's probably
Yeah.
gonna help that avenue. I don't know if, they are on Ashura, and there are people who
Yeah.
sell Aeonic runs, but I would highly recommend teaming up with, like, a link shell and making friends and tackling those challenges together. Uh, I don't know. I'm not in, like, social link shells right now, so it's hard to tell if there's a lot of Aeonic runs happening.
I mean, nothing's
Um,
happening on Azura because it's just slowly dying, but,
it doesn't feel that way for me.
no, I mean, there's a lot less activity in the Yell chat as of late. I think,
Well, it's 'cause,
I
like,
think
you
the
don't have
last
any
couple
new
Limbus
new
updates.
players joining,
Right,
you know what I
right,
mean?
and we have more people transferring off and stuff like that, or taking
Yeah.
breaks and stuff like that, but
And
it's
in
still
Dex's
very active.
case, Dex, I imagine, like, Dex is you're busy doing master trials. You're busy, like,
Yeah.
you have a group, you have, like, a
I still
community
join,
established.
I don't have a static or group for,
Yeah.
Limbus. I do pugs every time.
Mhm.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
I'm joining shouts or shouting myself for every Limbus run I do.
Mhm.
Hell yeah.
Um, I don't know, to me personally, I would not make a massa. But it
Mm.
all depends on your personal, like, situation. If you're doing sortie on SAM every day and you think about what you're gonna be using in sortie as a SAM, it's mostly going to be Tachi Kagero or Impulse Drive. So,
Yeah.
like, those are gonna be, like, your big damage things in sortie, which is gonna be, like, the main stuff that you use Samurai in. If you're using it in, like, segments, doing Fudo with a Doji is not that different from doing Fudo with a Masamune. Like,
Yep.
it's a little bit more damage. I think it depends on how long you're going to be without a Kusanagi and how, like, dedicated you are to the job. Because
Yeah, for sure.
for me, investing that money is not worth it when you are likely to never touch that thing ever again once you have the Kusanagi.
True.
Whereas like a doji, you'll get some use out of it regardless, like if you want to. Um, but you know, it honestly it doesn't really matter that much. Make whichever weapon you want to play with and go from there is kind
It's
of my
also a
attitude.
matter of like, are you playing Samurai every day? Is it like your
Yeah,
main thing that you're doing?
right, right. Like
If you're playing Samurai for sortie and then only sortie, and then you're putting it down until you make that
mhm,
Kusanagi versus I'm playing Samurai every day and having the Masamune would just like pay
yeah.
dividends in my everyday
Yeah.
play.
Yeah, if I were like a super serious samurai and it was gonna be like a year or 2 until I could get a Kusanagi, I would make a Masamune. But if not, then I probably just would
If you're gonna get a
let it
Masamune
be.
in like 4 to 6 months, then it would feel bad to spend that gil and then to kinda shelve it.
Right. Cool.
And the whole way you're gonna be using Shining One anyway, like, Shining One's incredible.
Yeah, like Shining One is so busted on samurai. Like I feel like it drives me crazy when I see people using Fudo on mobs that are not piercing resistant when they could be
Mm.
doing Shining One and Impulse Drive for like cap damage repeatedly.
It's definitely worth
It's
saying, like, even if you have Masamune or Doji, you would
yeah,
switch to Shining One in sortie, like, versus, like,
right,
E boss or something. You'd
right.
switch to Shining One.
Yeah, even when I had a samurai coming to my group, they did not have Masamune, but he did have a doji. And even when we were doing cartel, we risked the fragmentations just to get impulse drag because it's that strong. Like you can still do everything just fine, even if you're healing it a little bit and you're doing 99k impulse drives.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, on that guy, you'd pop your FPs and you just get super steroid buffed, and Samurai just
yeah,
wrecks him.
Yep.
yeah, absolutely. Cool.
I mean, I think there's also like Gcon said something in chat just now about samurai being at a disadvantage in that it doesn't get to as often use its strongest skill, which is being able to skill chain so potently and frequently.
Mhm.
And I think that's true in many Zergs. But I also think, like, I've also seen so many groups that have formed 8 boss solo Sam engage sortie groups because it's like,
Or Warrior.
if
I've seen
you
both.
if yeah, if you let it, like, if you stop putting it in a Zerg and instead build it around that strength, like, you get a Geo Red Mage, Bard Core, White Mage, Samurai party, and you can just solo six-step everything down. But yeah, I agree.
Well, another thing I've seen a lot of people do in that kinda, like, 8 boss or 6 boss, progression style melee setup is they'll kinda, like, hybrid it, where they'll super buff for the DD, they'll asylum them or whatever, the DD
Yeah.
will run in, blow their SPs, Zerg it to 50% or to whatever they can get it to, and then they transition to kiting it while the other teammates then engage it.
Hmm.
So the warrior could get it down like 50, 60% and then kinda just
Nice.
run away and kite the thing while everyone else wails on it because 'cause they're not gonna pull hate at that point.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's
To
ways
summarize
to build it around for sure. But
To summarize all of our points, I would say it's like 80% don't bother, and 20% if you really love the job and play it like crazy, then go for it. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's pretty fair. So fellas, I missed the conversation last time, so we're gonna have it again. Unfortunately. uh, what the
He's
fuck is
desperate
up
to
with
get his input
these?
in.
What the fuck is up with these Limbus? Well, first of all, nobody heard your guys' conversation. So again,
Yeah.
if they
Well,
want
only the
to,
people
they
that were
can
here live.
subscribe to
Nobody.
Hagmo's Patreon.
Egmo has an
Yeah.
enormous viewership, my friend.
Oh, it's definitely enormous. So what's up with the Limbus weapons? This is the last
They're a
update.
mistake.
Yeah, that's fair. What about them is so bad, Dex? What the fuck?
Uh, well, none of them are like Rima level in that they have a weapon skill associated with them. They just have like high base damage and attack, which is not exciting. They don't have a unique effect. Um,
I think the hardest thing for me to get over, like some of them are like fine and I could see making them, but it's like the
at
thing
what
that's
cost?
weirdest to me about it is why would you ever augment these weapons?
Yes. So every weapon themselves, you look at it at its base value, and you're like, that's a cute starter weapon, or
Yeah.
that's actually a decent starter weapon. But then you look at the augments, and the augments are horrible. They
Yeah.
are, and they're a lot of work to get them. It's like making a piece of armor. That's a lot of time and effort and money to get the shards to augment it for almost nothing. It's
Yeah.
kind of akin to upgrading a Bonanza weapon with a Moogle Iris. You get like a little bit of base damage, and that's it. Uh, the attack and the attack is for the PDL. Woo, PDL is kind of like an overrated stat in my opinion, and overvalued.
I think it's largely
Yeah.
misunderstood and like most like there's so many sources of it now that there's no way that you're benefiting from it in most cases. Attack even
Yes,
more.
it's
Yeah.
like with PDL, you benefit from it in some scenarios, depending on your buffs, the target, the debuffs, et cetera, but you don't need to throw PDL at a problem. Having a plus 100 PDL most of the time will not benefit you. You wanna have, like, a ton of weapon skill damage and then, like, maybe 10, maybe 20, maybe 50 PDL depending on the situation, but, like,
Yeah.
printing more and more items with, PDL on them and saying, like, "This is great," is kinda, A, confusing to most people, and B, contradictory.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's
all these
interesting
weapons that are
stuff.
just like, here's a little bit of attack, PDL, go, and some HP. You need
Yeah.
that. That's very not exciting. And
And I
honestly,
think that
like,
like last time we talked about it, like a couple weeks ago when we talked about it, we were like, we were still holding on to like some like maybe there's a secret augment that we don't know about, like it's like, but
what leads
yeah,
people down that road is that the pet weapons have a fourth augment slot, I think.
yeah.
So why
But I
won't
mean,
they
at this
all?
point, like I think a few people have I've seen like screenshots of rank 30s that people have made for the science or for the meme, and it's
Velner
like
on stream made the grip R30 on his alt
nice,
Dantaro
hell yeah.
and immediately says he regrets it.
I mean, that's a lot of matter.
Yeah, I think the grip is worth talking about, especially since I've seen a lot of people hyping it up on, Auction House or Reddit or wherever. I've just seen people
Yeah.
talking about the grip
Ironically, I
as like
think the
the
grip
main.
is best for helixes on Scholar, and that's about it.
Yeah,
Really?
Gives
yeah,
30
that's what
magic
I've
damage
heard.
when augmented.
Yeah.
So even like say you are just a hypothetical scenario, you're an attack capped samurai or a attack capped warrior, the PDL doesn't beat out like an Utu?
So
It depends.
it does. It does beat out the Utu if you're attack capped. So here's the
Okay.
thing. Here's the problem. It doesn't beat out the Utu by that much. It beats it out by
Mm.
like 2 to 3k. That 2 to
Yeah.
3k is lost in the time that your geomancer is tagging frailty on multiple mobs,
Right.
or the time that you're trying to switch back and forth between weapons or between grips because people are talking about toggling Utu and this PDL grip all the time.
Mm,
Um, in practice, the grip trying to min max the grip becomes such a pain in the ass that you are losing
yeah,
damage.
right.
And if you are not attack capped 100% of the time and everything is going perfectly, then Utu grip is more than likely going to take over and
I see, I
that.
see.
So like Vellner did like some very anecdotal testing. Like it's just he did a Olympus run with a warrior, one with Utu, one with the PDL grip, and Utu blew it away simply because
Really?
the frailty of it all getting
Yeah,
tagged on multiple mobs. Now that is like not a perfect test, obviously, because there's multiple factors. He's trying to tag stuff maybe not the best way. There's things are going a little bit more slowly than they should be.
right.
But I talked about these tests and some more in-depth actual like testing how much damage came out of the PDL from JP players with Shiraj, and we basically came to the conclusion that the PDL grip in perfect circumstances does do more damage. It's just the amount of times that you're in those perfect
Right.
circumstances is going to more than likely fall behind. It's just not worth the squeeze of trying to toggle grips and stuff like that. To me at
It's like
least.
running
So,
and gunning. You're not gonna be able to have those perfect scenarios line up. So content
right.
like Limbus is just not really a great place for it.
Yeah.
And then other end game activities, you're never going to reach the levels of attack cap and over attack cap to utilize it properly. And then in lower level content, you probably don't even need it, and you'll see
You're gonna
like a
be
very
hitting
meager
99Ks
increase.
anyway. Yeah.
Yep. You're only gonna see a meager increase. All that to say, you're all these scenarios added up, if you want that meager increase in that lower level content, you're now having a hefty price tag on it and weeks or months of effort for matter.
Yeah,
Right.
You're gonna do that instead of a piece of armor? The armor is, like, exceptional.
The armor
Well,
is
right.
very
there's no
good,
reason.
which is so confusing to me why the weapons don't turn out like
So, I
I
would
don't know.
say, as a rule of thumb, if you like a weapon, never augment it, like, just get it
Yeah.
and never augment it
Yeah.
Hmm.
because the
Is that
augments are
well, just
horrible.
for the lock style, but,
I was gonna get the
the
staff
augments
just for the
aren't
lock style.
I actually have a staff.
Just
Zorak cra I donated all my materials from we
yeah.
had all of our unique data saved up, and we had all the mats and stuff, and so
Yeah.
day 1, I donated all my materials to Zorak, and he made like 5 staffs, and he
Oh,
gave me
nice.
one, so
Go ahead and debox it to me, and
okay,
I'd
yeah, no
appreciate
problem.
it. Yeah,
Cool thing
perfect.
about
Yeah.
the weapons is they are amazing lock cells, and you can get the NQ for that.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But
I was
yeah.
gonna just get the NQ personally.
Yep.
But I was looking at the auction house when I came back after like a couple weeks of not playing at all, and I was shocked that like the only things that I saw sell was a couple grips, swords,
Mhm.
and like one or two axes.
Sabers, not
I think I
swords.
what's that?
Sabers, not
Say
swords, it's
sure.
just
So
sword.
yeah, the whatever the magic damage one is for
Yeah, for
Yeah.
Corsair,
Corsair
Red
Red
Mage, and Blue
Mage.
Mage,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah,
just as, like, a leaden hotshot offhand
Mhm.
or a nuking weapon, and for that, it's pretty good. I would get a saber when, the price goes down and the means are viable to you. I think it's very niche, and I also think it's, never worth augmenting like every other weapon.
right.
True.
Because I mean, you don't even get if you're using it for magic damage, you don't even get anything that helps with magic damage for augmenting the sword, do you?
Yeah.
It adds more magic damage to it.
Oh, does it? Okay. Just
Mhm.
well, which probably is
It
not
gets
gonna do
magic
as
damage
much
instead of
for
attack.
which is not gonna, like, be helpful as much as, like, it would be for
No, it's just
Scholar's
very tiny
Helix.
upgrade.
Right. Yeah,
You'd have to
that's
love Limbus and be done with all your armor to augment that.
hell yeah. Or are any of them besides the sword worth getting?
Uh,
There's like the
Shield is
Beastmaster Axe we
okay.
were talking about before. The Beastmaster Axe has pet level on it, which might, niche situations with beast could be cool.
I will say
Um,
the shield the shield HQ2, the blue border one, it's like a new player Srivatsa Dubin,
hmm,
but worse. them
Did we
both
get a
in
a
the same
block
way.
rate on that?
It's a size 3, I believe. The
Size 3.
slower
Yeah.
luck rate.
Mm, yeah,
Oh,
so not
Shraj was talking about it in the chat.
Yeah.
He
oh,
thinks
is
the
he?
shield sucks. It's good for new players. There's like maybe one use case for a fully geared paladin, he says. I think it's decent for like mass pulling stuff. It's kind of like Srivatsa in that sense where it's high defense. You could use it for Majesty Protect without having to get a Rima. And it's PDT2, so it brings your PDT2 cap higher with a Burt Gang, but the block rate on it is not good. It's not a Rima shield, so it doesn't have those special sizes. And it just doesn't seem necessary. Like the more geared your paladin gets, you're gonna have a good phalanx set or whatever, and you're just not gonna really take the damage anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's just very little use case for it. It does look
yeah.
cool though.
Yeah, that's, unfortunate. So I think the sword, the grip, arguably, and the axe,
Maybe the axe or hand to hand.
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen some of the hand-to-hand sell, and I think somebody in my link shell picked it up and said it was doing okay, but
Yeah, I think, like,
I
I mean, hand to hand is, like, the only I could see because a lot of people that play Puppet Master are, like, kinda anti-group anyway.
So
Like,
they
that's
don't
kind of
have
like
the prime.
they're like a solo player that likes pup and it helps them solo, which is I think
Yeah.
totally cool, but like it lends to that, like you get the pet level without having to do sortie, you get, a
So in
decent
that use
high damage
case,
weapon skill.
they're
What?
buying an SU5 weapon that's a little cheaper or like a third of the price of it's not even that cheap right now, but like half the price of a Dynamis SU5.
Yeah.
So they're getting like we have Sajida at home, right? Or whatever the Zwaukotl or whatever.
Mhm.
oh,
The
the
Yeah,
pup
it's
one.
Kotal.
Dynamis? Yeah, yeah,
Zwaukotl is like pretty good. It's like pet
right,
DT20 or something. I've heard that a lot of pups like having that weapon. But then
yeah.
this one is like, I don't have pet DT, but I've got 2 pet levels, so it's pretty decent. It just seems like a worse version of the other SU5 they have access to.
Mm. Do you guys think, that they've learned anything at all, or do you think we're just gonna get a bunch of PDL on the ACP gear?
I really hope that they
Yeah.
learn that this is bad. Like these are
Yeah,
not
I don't
exciting
know.
weapons. There's not going to be a lot of players out in the field using these.
Mhm.
Um and only a handful are really like even interesting enough to play around with, let alone use full time.
I'll be honest with you
They
Yeah,
guys.
seem they're
To
counterintuitive, and I think we got into this, me and Hegmo, when you were gone. They're
yeah.
very counterintuitive in that they're designed for new players, but the barrier to entry to obtain them and upgrade them for new players is out of reach. So
Yeah.
it's not designed for new
right.
players.
I feel like them dropping ACP, high tier battlefield this month, this close after finishing Limbus and this early in the summer. I feel like this was oh shit, we fucked up. What can we throw out there right now to
Yeah.
distract them from a giant flop?
Well, I mean, I hope
This
so.
has been
I hope
like,
that they don't just double down because, like you're saying, like if it's like if we just get mid-step gear that doesn't do anything, nobody uses it in their sets. It's kind of crappy. The augments aren't or the stats aren't good on the ACP gear. That's just going to double down on the negative. But
yeah,
Charge says he thinks the mediocrity of the Limbus weapons is antithetical because of their price. And if they were really cheap to make or really cheap just to get for new players, then they'd be like
mm,
reasonable. The fact that you have to
yeah,
augment them and the augments suck as well is just
yeah,
it's the real spit in the face. If they were what they are, and then the augments like brought them to some crazy level where they were worth just pursuing in general, then I think everyone would be singing a different tune about them.
right. Well, I think we'll see next week. Like we'll see next week what they do with the ACP gear. I know I said last week, I'm like, I think that the Limbus weapons are kind of evidence again to my ongoing theory that
That no
they
one plays
actually
this
have
game?
no idea what the stats do. Like, I truly think that, like, whoever's assigning stats on weapons has a list and they're like, "Oh, magic damage, that's good for all casters. Oh, physical damage limit. It says physical damage. That's good for everybody that's physical damage." Like, I think they actually don't know what the stats do. But we'll see when ACP gear comes out. If
So,
I'm
Myth,
wrong,
I had
you know.
said that if they had swapped the 10 PDL to 10 WSD, and then if the augment was percent attack, I was questioning how much percent attack it would need to have to make it viable or good. And I think it's a lot. I think it's like 10% or more.
Yeah. Yeah,
Probably
I don't know.
more, frankly.
I'll be honest, this last Limbus update really took the wind out of me as far as playing with
I
it.
mean,
And
I said last week or 2 weeks ago with Dex, I was like, I'm actually a little bit more motivated because it means, you know,
Mhm.
and I know Dex said multiple times, he's like, the best thing about these weapons is that we realize we don't have to make them. So we can just we can reinvest our energy back into making the armor that's actually good.
Yeah, I was kinda dreading the update because I was like, "There's gonna be some amazing weapon, and I can't make armor anymore. This sucks." So this was the best update they've ever
Yeah, I mean,
released, and I don't know
I
what
finished
you're
my boots.
boo-hooing about.
I
Yeah.
finished my monk boots since then. I would have had to shelve them for 3 months.
Yeah, wow.
The progression track for Limbus isn't going anywhere, but fortunately, they're making the weekly grind a little bit easier, so
Yeah,
there's that.
next update, Thursday. I mean, that's the thing I'm most excited. I'm excited for
Yeah.
ACP. I can't wait to see it, but cutting floors out at Temenos. I can't wait.
It's
If
kinda
they don't
antithetical to what they've been doing lately, right? They've made so they've addressed there's a lot of grinds in this game that takes 6 months, let's make them 4 or 3 with,
Mhm.
like, ergon weapons and, now they're doing that new, what
Oh,
do you
the
call it?
campaign. Yeah. The
Campaign.
campaign
They're doing
for
that new
Adelaide.
campaign to make that grind even shorter. But then with Limbus, they're like, "No, it's gotta be a really long grind, but we'll make it
Mm.
easier every week." I
Yeah.
don't understand that. No one wants the really long grind. Like, people play a lot of jobs. Let them unlock the armor and make it. Like, I'm not saying to make it a handout. People are gonna have to earn it, but, like, making matter, like, this is the easiest one. Making a matter guaranteed drop would reduce the grind and the bad feeling of missing every time.
right, because the upgraded chest didn't improve matter drop rate at all,
No, it
did
did
it?
not.
That's crazy. That was the thing that
Well,
was
yeah,
hoping for the
so
most,
I
was matter
think
drop rate increase.
possibly it did a little bit. Um Like,
I think that's
I
anecdotal.
don't think it went up to 100%. It's impossible to say unless we'd been, like, logging all of our drops for,
It
the
certainly
past.
didn't make it 100%.
Yeah, it didn't make it 100, but I think that there's a chance that it went from, like, a 40% to a 50, you know what I mean?
What
But,
world?
like
Whoa, 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 whoa. What world are you living in where you're getting a 40% on a 3K? That is not the case at all. It feels like a 10 to 20% for me.
I thought it was, like, around a 60% overall rate pre,
What?
um, pre-update.
I do not
About
get madder that often.
I
I
think
don't.
about 3
The
out of
other people in
5.
my party do. The other people in my party get the matter that often, I don't,
Yeah,
in typical fashion.
yeah. I thought it was about 3 out of 5 normally.
Wow.
Yeah, but I don't know.
When I'm not getting the 5K, it's, like, rare to see a matter come out that thing.
Mhm, okay. Yeah, I don't know, I obviously haven't done any testing on this, and I never will because I thoroughly don't care. But that was just my experience. It was guessing around like
I feel like
60%
it didn't
range.
adjust the rate at all, but,
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
yeah,
Square Enix likes to go like, "We bumped up the drop rate by double," and they went
and it didn't do
0.001
anything.
to 0.002, so
Yeah,
effectively it did
exactly.
nothing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So they might have bumped up the drop rate by, X percent. They're like, "We raised it, guys," and it really in actuality didn't do anything.
truly tragic.
Yeah. reducing the grind coming up, or reducing the time in the grind will be nice. Not the length of the grind overall, but yeah, I
Right.
think Limbus, now that we've come full circle and everything is out and presumably they're not making any more changes, I think what I've been saying this whole time is still true, that Limbus is a dud. And unfortunately, we have to stick with it because the gear is so good.
Yeah, I really tried to give it the benefit of the doubt as it was coming out, and I was really hoping that this last, update was like, I didn't care so much about the weapons being good. I thought there would be at least a couple good ones, but, like, not a lot.
Based on the precedent of
Definitely.
Dynamis SU5s, where like
Right.
some are
Yeah.
really exceptional and some are who
Yeah.
cares?
Any of the weapon lines that have come out, Odyssey, any of the Rimas, like any of them, there has been at least a couple that are really good. Even like the old relics, there's a couple that are still really
Yeah.
good, and there's a
I mean, I
lot
think that's
more that are
why
duds.
this was so jarring to so many people, is because the almost I can't think of another, like, outside of besieged weapons or whatever. You know what I mean?
Where they
Like,
release a
or
swath
yeah,
of items and they're all bad and no one
yeah,
wants them?
yeah,
Yeah. This is pretty bad in that you'd want at least like 3 to 5 to be like, "That's really good, and I want that for
yeah,
this job, for this weird thing." Or even like an offhand. Like, two-handers are typically used to nothing's gonna beat a Rima, so whatever they release is whatever, but like, you
Right.
know, dual wield jobs, a lot of those are viable because it's an offhand, and even these are
yeah,
bad offhands. And
yeah.
then, Corsair being the exception where they would maybe offhand that saber for some stuff.
Yeah, I mean that was
But
my
like,
general hope was there would be some valid offhands, and there's maybe one or two, but not really.
Yep.
and also feel like when we're reaching this hard, like with the stats and everything, where it's like, oh,
Copium.
because the magic damage, blah blah blah, it might be good for laden salute. And it's like they didn't. Nobody at Square Enix was like, oh, we'll make a laden salute offhand saber for course. It was a complete accident that it has these stats on it. You know what I mean? Like we are finding something that will work in a weapon that's absolutely useless otherwise.
Yeah, they plugged in
Yeah.
like 5 or 6 stats, and they just hit the randomizer on
Yeah.
like a little thing, and they were just like, "Okay, this is
Yeah.
what's gonna be on." Oh, look, PDL again, probably because we put it in as a 100% rate, and like
Yeah.
this, I don't know.
There
It's
even though they're not good and it doesn't make them good, there are some, like, standouts that are interesting and weird, like how the Scythe's base damage does not beat, Fonaria's base damage, but the bow's base damage beats Panaka.
yeah. Yeah, good thing it
But, like,
has no good weapon skills attached to
yeah,
Yeah.
well, of course.
Yeah.
it.
So what I said, well, in the episode, the hidden episode is, what would have made these weapons all exciting, even though they may not be good, is if you put all the campaign weapon skills on them.
Oh, that would've been cool. Yeah, and didn't they even tease unique weapon skills on these? I feel like they
I
did
don't know
at
about
one
that.
point. I'm pretty sure they teased unique weapon skills.
If the hand-to-hand
Um,
had Bear Killer, if,
yeah. If we got, if we got fucking what's the Uriel blade?
Uriel Blade
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
fucking
Yeah.
on the
yeah, on
sword,
the sword, yeah, that would be incredible.
like,
Um,
even if the weapon skills could suck for all we know, like, their modifiers could be shit, they could be good, they could be bad. People would look at them and be like, "Well, the stats aren't that good, but then that weapon skill's kinda good, and I could use that for this or whatever." Like, there's no reason to not release these weapon skills if they're in the fucking game. Like, they have
You just
modifiers
gotta
and
wait. You
gats.
gotta wait for the campaign redo, you
No
know?
one wants that. Everyone wanted a li Everyone was clamoring for a Limbus overhaul because it was nostalgic, beloved content from back in the '75 era. Most people don't like campaign from back in the '75 era.
I loved campaign, honestly. Like I'll be
You
the
are not
first one
most
to be
people.
like, well, okay, so the thing that I loved about campaign back then is I had one level 75 when it came out, and I was trying to
Mhm.
level others, and campaign was like one of the first things that you could go out and get pretty
Oh,
decent
100%.
reliable XP solo. And it
I
was
totally
Yeah.
agree.
fun
While
and
you're waiting for a
engaging.
party, you could just fuck around and get a
Yeah.
good
Or
chunk.
like, you got home from school and, like, like, you've got whatever to do or it's before school, I would jump on sometimes. I'm like, "I've got 30 minutes. There's no point in, like, searching for a party or anything like that, but I can jump and do a campaign battle," like,
Yeah,
um
exactly. It was great.
I would say, to double down on that, like, campaign ops are probably, like, the best thing bang for your buck outside of a, like, fully fledged EXP party to get great EXP, and I think most players back then didn't utilize it.
Yeah.
If they were to do,
I
like,
oh,
a
yeah.
private server that had, TOAU, I think that would be heavily exploited in the modern knowledge era.
Yeah. Like, Abyssea really changed how Endgame looked as far as the amount of people and resources that you needed to get into it, but I think campaign ops really set up for that shift, in a lot of ways
Abyssea
because
EXP parties were crazy.
oh,
I
yeah.
don't know if you
Oh,
were,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Remember,
there
like,
will
peeling
never be an
yourself by
era like
being
that.
a key person? That was crazy.
Yeah,
When
there
you
will
were
never
18
be an era
people.
like that again,
Yeah.
where you would have jobs at opposite ends of the spectrum of progression. A level 10 guy and a level 85 guy. The 85 guys are banging away, and the level 10 guy's like, a serf to the Lord running around
Yeah.
killing
Yeah, running around
noobs.
opening
Yes.
chests and
Yes, my lord. Yes, let me
yeah.
"Yes,
open the
me lord,
chest
I'll
for you, my
open the
lord.
chest for you, lord."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like and it worked, it was so synergistic, it was
Yeah.
cool, and you had full alliances, like, there will never be an era like that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It was a
remember,
different time.
18 people in the XP party. That was a
And it was
crazy
efficient.
experience.
And
Yeah.
then, people often went to sleep and fell asleep AFK.
No. I mean, it was also great, like you were saying earlier, like you could do it without, much less stress because had an 18-man party and there were multiple camps that like supported that. So more people could level up. As a Galka player, like I was always afraid to play Black Mage. So like I got to level up Black Mage for the first time. I could never afford Ranger ammunition, so I got to level up Ranger for the first time. Like it just kind of allowed a lot more you to experience a lot more of the game. But I know that a lot of people hated Abyssea for different reasons, but I
I
I
loved
look
it
back
yeah.
fondly on it.
It's like how we always make fun of boomers. Like,
Yeah.
people don't like they're like, "Oh, we don't like, loud music because we don't like having fun." That's like not liking Abyssea back then, because
Yeah.
their beloved sky
So
and sea got taken
Yeah.
away,
so
and
camping kings and doing Sky is the boomer, and then the millennial is
yeah,
like, "We love
exactly.
Abyssea."
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
And then right now it's Zoomers. It's like, "We got Limbish."
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough right now. But
There's
I
no
don't
doom and
know.
gloom. I think Limbus was a miss overall. The gear is still incredible. You have to do the grind to go get
I
it.
I do think that the NMs are still fun if you are fortunate enough to get to do them. And I know that among us, I'm the only one that's like in this in like the weird niche group of people that can just do them every time. Um I think the NMs are great. Even if they have flaws. And I think that as time goes on, people's like relationship with Limbus will change. And I think that as a catch-all, I can fill my time. It's your campaign battle. You don't have to find a party. You don't have to worry about lockouts. You can just jump in, jump out. You get units, you get exemplar points, you get capacity points. Um, I think that it has a role to play, but as like this end game gear chase where you're trying to min max your participation in it, it is a brutal soul sucking experience.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
But
not my
high tiers
favorite,
are coming.
but yeah, high tier battlefields are coming. If I have one wish, it is for some sort of content where the Limbus gear will matter.
Mm,
That's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that's my biggest, like, holdup right now is that I'm really glad that they're instituting content that can help out, like, bridge, the gap between, like, new and returning players and people that have been around forever. I'm really glad that that's happening. I think that the Limbus gear is good. I think it has, like, an offering for everybody. But Like the V25s are like I don't know about how you guys feel about it, but I feel like the V25s have been like the difficulty in them has been killed. Like I feel like they are
Mm.
fairly easy these days compared
Yeah.
to like
Like
even
gears
2
crept
years
up
ago.
past them a little bit.
Gears crept
Yeah.
up. Everybody's got master levels now. Everybody's got their primes. They're just overpowered. Like they're I feel like the difficult content outside of master trials doesn't exist that much. And I don't know how you guys feel about it, but
Uh,
Well,
I
I
wouldn't call
still
them
haven't cleared
easy.
most of the V25s, so
I wouldn't call them easy. I get where you're coming from, though. They've been significantly, reduced in
yeah.
difficulty, but I wouldn't call them easy still.
I maybe like just figured out is a better phrase because
Yeah.
Oh,
like
I think like the knowledge
yeah.
is there for sure.
You can go into a V25 with the right setup, and as long as you have, like, a competent group and, like, in-depth knowledge, which isn't hard to find these days,
Yeah.
you can pretty much guarantee, like, a 90% or higher win rate
Right.
on
yeah,
most of the
they're
And I
wholly
V25s.
solved, and there's a lot less a lot of people would point to, "This aura sucked, so bad RNG, we lose." But
yeah.
nowadays, that's not really the case. Like, no matter even if you have a bad aura or not, you could usually overcome it with
And I
the
think
new
too,
gear
like,
creep and
Right.
what.
not only that, but like I think there's the collective knowledge element. Like sortie is much easier than it used to be for so many people. It's partially because of gear, but also partially because people have figured out routes and strats and all this other stuff slowly over time. Um,
We're
and
still
also,
adapting our strategy in sortie
yeah,
to this day. We're still trying new things
yeah,
and incorporating new technology ideas. We had our
oh yeah,
best run ever, uh, last week.
hell yeah. Well, that's how you.
We're
Well, how what was your if you don't mind sharing? What was your gallon free?
we
Looks
killed
like you had a
Ammonon in
98K run,
we
which is
killed
crazy.
Ammonon
Yeah, I've
in
heard.
3 minutes,
Oh my god.
48 seconds, and that's from flash to death, not from engage to death. And we pulled 98,800
Yeah,
gallon
that's what
free.
I heard from I think from Shiraj, 98,800. 200
So,
I mean, that's crazy. How close were you to killing 2 more mobs and getting 10K?
uh, d we were we missed 4 mobs in E on our cleave, and since we've been doing the entire zone cleave, so that's a couple points there.
Dang.
We missed, a chest or 2.
Oh,
There
man.
was a world in which we coulda got the 100K.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So now that's like the white whale getting 100K.
Mhm. It's
And
possible.
we've just been incorporating more and more cleaves into our route where we find, hey, if we spend an extra 20 to 40 seconds here, we can cleave these mobs and then we can, and it's finding time to do that. And, Bitzer's dependent. We
Yeah.
lost an Ammonon recently because we got greedy and we're trying to incorporate all these cleaves and it burned too much time. So it's a give and take, right?
Yeah.
But just
Hell
chasing
yeah.
that white whale has been fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of have a hot take about sortie, like, and I don't mean it like in a negative way to like put anybody down, but I've always felt that sortie's difficulty has always been more about the timer than the actual content.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Um, I've never like I don't know. I even when it first came out and we were learning how to do A boss and stuff, it doesn't seem like difficult content. And like
Well, I
while
think,
I'm
like,
glad people are
there's
still having fun in sortie,
yeah.
I don't know. It,
That's the
I
thing
kind
think
of
about
that
falls
this.
flat for me.
Sortie is
sortie
just go ahead.
sortie has this thing where, like, it's very difficult until you outgear it, and there's a definitive point where you just are stronger than Gartel. You know what I mean? Like when you're under geared, you don't have the primes yet. You don't have, all your reforged gear. Your sets aren't ideal. Like you can stall out on Gartel. You can stall out on Aita, and then suddenly, like hit a threshold, and you literally just breeze through. And you're able to surpass that gear check. And I think like to Myth's point, like as we add Limbus gear and primes and all this other stuff to the equation, it's much easier to pass that threshold.
Sortie's difficulty I think Kibble said it. Sorty's real difficulty is schedules. So Sorty's difficulty is
Yeah,
finding
honestly.
Yeah,
like-minded people to do the content with, because everyone has
right.
different levels of expectations from the content. So some people just want to get in and get points and get out. Some people want to like push the limit. Some people don't want to do a whole lot of things. Some people want to play on their DD job and they want to do 8 boss. So there's all sorts of expectations, and finding the right people who can play at the same time and do it together is quite difficult.
Yeah.
Um, and then the other aspect of sortie that to this day, from day one was the problem, and to this day is the problem. It's just too big. It's a gigantic zone. You
Yeah, I really wish
literally,
that they would add some sort of thing where like you can if you kill the basement bosses or you unlock something where you can teleport to each
yeah.
of the like the zone boss
Well, the
areas.
content is been wholly made impossible without Bolter's
Yeah.
role, right? Like that's where it's
Yeah.
at. So it's dumb.
Yeah.
It
Well,
to
I
Mitt's
think that
point,
like
that makes it a fight against time rather than a challenge of the content. Even if, you could warp from boss to boss, there'd be more like, "Hey, how much can we pull and how much can we do?
right.
Can we clear all this zone? Can we kill all these mobs?" And then, there's
I think we've talked
opportunities
about
there.
before. Yeah, we've talked about before how I don't think they designed Limb or Sortie with this idea that we were gonna 9 boss clear. Like, I think that we have figured out how to abuse the system just enough, to to make that possible. I don't think that that was ever their intention.
Well, I think they fucked it
And
up
give
because they had it extra difficulty, like, built
Yeah.
into it,
Right,
but they
right, right,
built
right,
it
yeah.
into it in such a way that, like, they forced it on people, and they
Yeah.
were just like, "Oh, we fucked this up," so instead of tuning it correctly, they just took it out completely, and, like, why not allow people to opt into that extra difficulty for
Yeah.
more muffins or something like that? Just give it
Well, I
like,
mean,
there's
like
so
well,
many
maybe
ways they
that's,
can make it
like
dynamic, and they just don't.
give us a hard mode Gartel, a hard mode Dartok, and all this other stuff. And if you clear them on hard mode, you unlock the teleport to that boss arena. You know what I mean? Like, and then
It's
there's
as
like a
simple as
reason to
that.
spend an entire run. Like,
Mhm.
okay, let's only do this Dartok hard mode this run. And we're unlocking the teleport. It's like I think that would, long
Yeah,
term
it's
make it
literally as
more
simple as
engaging and
that.
more fun. Yeah.
I like that a lot. And, there's a plethora of things they could do, like, each room, if you killed all the things in the room, could drop a special chest or, there's no end to ideas that we can come up with. Ultimately, I think, that content isn't going to change ever. We're never going to get that ROE that's repeatable to get the +2 chest, ever. That's not happening, even though it should.
Yeah.
Um, and Sortie, I don't know, I love Sortie because it's like it's got such a low ceiling, sorry, a low barrier to entry, but a high ceiling
Yeah.
where you can, like, really, really mess around with it. But Sortie is just not gonna change, and in a
Yeah.
perfect world, down the road, they would add back all those high difficulty,
Hey,
hard modes, and they would just make it like 18-man content like Vagary.
right. That'd be
I
cool.
always thought I
I
always
mean,
thought,
we finally
Sortie
got
could be 18 men, and it could be really
we
cool.
we finally got an a coalition campaign. We might someday get that Gallimafree campaign. Renkai also had a really good idea in chat. He said speed boosting strips like in Mario Kart could help. And I think that we should just Mario Kart all of it. Like imagine if you had little like question mark buffs that you could run over as you went and it give you like a red turtle shell to knock out a ghost as you go or something.
I'm
It'd
not
be pretty
Yeah.
Square
sweet.
and I I might be out of touch with this. So why is the speed cap what it is? Is it a server thing?
Oh, I have no idea.
Like
Yeah, no clue.
the cap has always been what it is, and they kind of just like raised base movement speed and lowered movement speed
Mm,
buffs when they did the change. But the cap has always been, like chocobo speed is 100% and
yeah.
police speed 100%. And, you know, that's what it is. How come we can't go faster? Like, put some things in the
Um,
game that let us go super speed. because
You just can't,
I
dude.
know I know people who cheat can go faster.
Yeah, but
It's
those are
So
already cheaters.
so
it's also true.
what's limiting the devs from making a new point? Like, if Flea is 100%, why can't
Hmm,
certain buffs go to 150? I don't know.
damn.
Yeah. Well, how fast do
Left
mounts
fast food
go?
still.
They go
100%, right?
100%. Maybe you know what? I bet it's just like an arbitrary number that they threw in, and they're like, you know what? I think
Yeah.
people running at 60% of the mount speed is more than reasonable. We'll just throw that in there and call it a day.
Hmm. It was probably rigorously tested. The devs went out and they ran alongside horses and they tried to
Hmm.
figure out like how fast they could run
Yeah.
in relation to a it's actually based on real life and
Yeah,
science.
they ran next to a Formula One car, and they were like, let's see how quickly we could do this," and and they were like, "Oh, well, that's not going to work. We can only go 5%." So
Yeah.
that's where the original movement speed came from, and then they
Yeah.
decided to change it against horses later on. Yeah. Oh,
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
That's all I got for today, guys. Is there anything else that
Yeah, I think we're kind of
like to
running out
discuss?
of
Yeah.
logical things to say
Yeah.
anyway, so
No, we were just gabbing about the content that we hate and love. That's
Yeah.
all.
We'll come back next time with a more thoroughly thought out topic. I have ideas. I just kind of wanted to catch up and make sure everybody knew that we are still
yeah.
alive and
No,
kicking.
and, it's good to let everyone
Yeah.
know we haven't died.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We will be back and we will have more thorough outlines of topics to
There's
discuss.
no end of things to talk about in
That's very
11.
true. Yeah. And
Yeah, we'll be able to talk
eventually
about new things next week too. We'll be able to complain
oh
about how they
yeah.
didn't do enough to cut Tomato's floors and how it's not
Mhm.
enough of a difference. We'll be able
Mhm.
to talk about how the ACP gear is
Well,
terrible and like
let's
it's
throw
out
out
of
the guesses
touch.
now.
So
So so ACP, it could either drop one of each body and nothing else, or it could drop accessories. What's your thoughts?
I'm guessing one of each body. We're gonna get, and they've said no augment, so it's gonna be a preset body.
Yep,
One's gonna
yep,
be a
yep.
caster. One's gonna be
I like that.
like a more warrior set. One's gonna be more like thief focused, perhaps.
I'm gonna go out and
Um,
say the stats on them have nothing to do with the augments on the old versions. Like, they don't look like
yeah.
them at all.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't. I think they'll be kind of like more generic in a lot of
I
ways,
think some people are holding out hope that
because they're
they'll
gonna have to be
be like a quick
multi-job.
draw body for the light armor one, you know what I mean?
Because like the heavy
Yeah.
body armor is gonna have to be for warrior, paladin, dark knight. It's gonna have to be a generic by nature.
Yep.
I would guess that maybe we get one accessory, so three body armors and one accessory that's like a new piece, but I have no idea because a new accessory isn't a new model, and that wouldn't require like a new like asset added into the game. It's just a piece of gear that you don't see on your characters. So I could see like maybe a new belt or something, but who knows?
I could see Myth saying no accessories and you don't get anything.
I don't know. I don't know. I could see it going a couple different ways. They could either do exactly what Higma said, do a couple different bodies based on the ACP things. I could also see them just pulling in something completely unrelated to ACP because
Mm.
that is kind of been their thing lately, is like just
Yeah, we've
completely
been hyping up
subverting.
like we're gonna get these new eye level versions of the bodies, and they're like, we never said that. We just said we
Right.
were making HDMB based on the fight.
Right. We could, for all we know, we could get the black version of Limbus armor, and it could be called null
Yeah,
armor. Like who fucking
that's
knows?
true.
Like, and it
That's true.
should just have a
And we'll
shit ton
get
of
like
accuracy and nothing else on it. Like
we'll get
It does something
hands
completely
and feet.
different.
yeah.
We'll get hands and feet in ACP, legs and head in Mugoku Bata, and then the body will come out finally
That would be
in a
weird.
year. Yeah.
Right.
I
So
think
yeah,
it'd be
truly I have
I
no
think
idea.
it's like 80% or 70% likely that we're gonna get the 3 bodies because they are unique models to that fight, and they'd be remiss to not
Yeah.
reutilize that
What
asset.
would blow your mind? Like what could happen that you'd be like, holy shit, I was wrong. They did something crazy. What if it was like an eye level, super strong? Oh, we got a shared hype train. Look at that.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
crazy strong, like eye level version of it. They have really good stats that are generally really strong, but also like a new sphere effect. What if they
So
brought
what
back
would be
sphere effects?
crazy, like, blow my expectations out of the water would be, they would have to lean into the augments that we had in the past, but
Hmm.
they would have to be, like, upscaled values and all of them in order to, like, please everybody.
Yeah.
So the current bodies and head and legs that we get from those expansions are used as, like, supplementable macro pieces for job abilities and stuff, or, like, special abilities. I think there's so much armor in the game currently. There's, like, Limbus stuff for TPing. There's, Nyame and other Odyssey stuff for weapon skilling, and then there's, like, DT stuff out there. Uh, there's so much competition that these items need to do something unique or augment specific jobs in certain ways for them to be appealing. Otherwise, they risk them outshining other existing stuff.
Mm.
So, to
What
impress me, they'd have to do that. They'd have to fill, like, extreme niches, but also serve them in such a good
Yeah.
way that they're appealing.
I'm gonna lowball my expectations and hopefully that I'm pleasantly surprised.
No,
Um,
I'm not
so
expecting that at all. I'm expecting them to either suck or to be,
yeah,
like, very cute for, like, 2 jobs, you know?
yeah. I think from what we've seen from the Limbus weapons, and given the fact that they just released the Limbus armor, I think they're going to be too scared to put anything really good on them
Yeah.
to
That
be
will replace that.
exactly.
Well, think
That's
about
kind of
this.
where I'm at.
The Cloud of Darkness high tier battle, for all intents and purposes, was probably the best high tier they've released in a decade.
Yeah. True.
A decade might be pushing it, I don't know when, but you know what I mean, like,
Sure.
every
Also,
piece
like,
of equipment from that
yeah,
fight
the
is
gear's really good.
incredible.
Yeah. And it's also like that was one of those rare instances where you're like, "Holy crap, wait, they do understand." Because it's like all this all jobs magic accuracy, and it's like, "Oh, they see how we're doing Ammonon and they're helping us." That's crazy.
It was the last thing
Yeah.
Fujito had his hand in, or not Fujito, sorry.
Oh, I see.
Matsui.
Matsui?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
The last thing Matsui had his hand in before before
Okay.
the takeover, and then Limbus. But
Damn.
yeah, I don't know.
The new ACP armor, each gives, uh, matter drop rate plus 50%.
Oh. Ooh, okay. Okay.
Now we're cooking.
I don't know. I might quit the game if that was it. Like, you, you want me to do ACP so I can do more Limbus? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Sarah said the new ACP armor will be 10% PDL and 200 HP, and it honestly sounds about right.
Hell yeah.
And
Magic
then,
damage plus 10.
I said we should speculate on what the update's gonna be, so we speculated on the armor from that, and what was the other aspect of the update? Oh, how many floors they cut.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I hope they cut 3
I
floors off every tower.
I think they're gonna cut 2. I think because like, they said they wanna bring it in line with Apollyon, which is 18 floors in total, and so if they cut 2 floors from northeast and west, that brings it down to 5 floors in each of those, plus 4 in central, and it would put you at 19 floors,
19.
which would be as close as you can get.
I think they only strip 1 from each floor and or from each tower, and they're like, "What, we helped."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
actually,
yeah.
I can see them only stripping 1 from the towers that have 7 floors and then leaving
Yeah.
central as it is. Um,
Yep.
and then being like, "Yeah, the floors are shorter, so it's even now." But,
Yeah.
you know
The the thing that was, the best about that update note wasn't even the floors, even though I'm looking forward to having to do less work. It
It
was
said they acknowledged the question marks.
the question mark. We're
Yeah.
fixing the question mark. It's like, "Oh, so you do know it's a problem.
Yeah.
Thank you."
Yeah. The thing that they pretended like wasn't a problem at all and was working as intended for for the past year,
"Oh, well,
despite it being
you're
reported.
not finding the question mark because you're not
Yeah.
going out there in Temenos." It's like, "No, people are, and it's
Yeah.
taking longer,
Yeah.
and it's not being found."
So that's cool.
Well, the
Well, that's
I'm
it.
content is
excited about that.
optional, so
Yeah.
Every piece
True.
of content is optional. We could play other games.
Ooh.
yeah.
Ooh, well, that's awkward.
In fact, I think that's the perfect time because I promised my fiance that we would go play other games. So thanks everybody
Okay.
for coming and doing the podcast with me.
See
I
ya.
really appreciate it. We will be back and we will see y'all next time.
So whoever of us got it right
Alright.
wins 2 million gil.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. From who? From
Bye,
Headmore?
everybody.
Bye.